Hello, good evening. Welcome to Transformers The Sow. Lovely. Thank you for joining us tonight. It's Friday night. We've got loads coming up. We're going to count down our top 5 Titans ever. Not just our top 5 toys, but also our top 5 characters as well, Titans. We're going to do a discussion, which is going to be about audiobooks, where we should get some more Transformers into audiobooks and who would play certain characters, and a few more other discussions as well. We've got all the news. There's a Rohan's Corner coming up, and lots more. But as always, let's start off with the news.
I talk some TV, and now the news. Don't touch that dial.
Ooh, news.
This dude. So this is that's the box art, obviously, for Crimsonflame, who's this I think, wasn't it some kind of show exclusive in Shanghai, something like that. Anyway, there it is. I'm sure somebody will get it over here, one of the independents, and that's what he looks like. So we got these were the kind of the official photos that drop.
It's cool.
And he turns into a dragon, obviously.
Yeah, it was quite cool.
Any news when it's coming up available to pre-order? Could that be Hearts be the 18?
Well, I'm not sure, because it kind of like came out of nowhere, and then it was the show exclusive. So I'm expecting somebody must get it. I mean, just looking back at the information I had, it was 269 Hong Kong dollars, which only works out apparently at 35 US dollars. Now, if it's that price, that seems a bargain to me.
Gonna fly off the shelf.
Although it does say it's an extensive retool of the Last Night Deluxe Steel Bane, and I don't remember those toys being particularly awesome in terms of kind of the build quality. But
it was quite small, wasn't it?
Good face sculpt.
I think it looks interesting, and I like the alt mode. You know, who doesn't like a dragon? One for the Welsh. Which reminds me, Brad's in the chat. Evening, Brad.
Who is it?
He's not an actual real character. His name is
Crimsonflame.
Yeah. It was available via Amazon Singapore during the days of the event, apparently. But I'd keep an eye on places like Kapow. Or maybe
Emgo's doing a live chat right this moment. Right this moment, he's gone live. Just
Who else?
We've gone live. Emgo.
Emgo. All right. Well, we'll stop this. Let's stream his live chat.
Yeah.
And we'll
Should we just get better? No, it wouldn't be your news.
timing.
Your news is awesome.
What's he
I'm
doing?
just checking the chat to see if there's
what's he
any
doing, though?
anyone.
What's he doing?
anyone. I'm not actually watching it.
He's just
The
doing a live
helicopter.
chat. If it's
I'm gonna
anything
post-
like his
I'm
live
gonna
chats I
post
watched,
it.
he's not doing a right lot other than answering questions. And
I'm just making sure that the people in the chat aren't our regulars.
the people.
And
I'm
if there
gonna
is-
post the link to our show in the chat.
You're going to post what now?
Our live link in his chat.
Oh, that's probably going to cause problems. Anyway, he comes with weapons, and there they are.
That's what it reminds me of, Lily. Yeah, the Dragon Zord from Power Rangers. Yeah, well cool, Lee.
It made me think more of Ninjago, but there you go. Anyway, there it is. I don't know how you'll get it. You might be able to get it. Keep an eye on places like Kapow and stuff. You know, Hasbro Pulse. Do you think they'll get this in? I don't know.
I've got to say the pictures on the actual proper pictures we saw in the box and stuff make it look far better than these.
Yeah. Strange that.
I don't know what to believe now.
Anyway, we know what this is.
In Emgo's live chat to say, come and watch Transformers The Show live.
Oh, brilliant. We're starting a war with Emgo. That's wonderful news.
Just before Christmas.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is Takara and Transformers Dramatic Capture Series Nemesis Bridge Set. You know, nice long title. So it's their Soundwave, Megatron, and Shockwave. Their Shockwave, slight redeco of the original Siege one.
And a sort of
You know,
masturbation pose, isn't it? He's not scared to show what he wants to do.
I mean,
I'm not. It wasn't my first thought, Jamie.
Well, it's he's only got one hand.
But you know, let's go with it. Let's go with it. It's
Now we know why he lost the other hand, don't we?
It's just a nub. Anyway, there's Soundwave, which is the Netflix one. So for people who missed out on that, is the color different? Is it a darker blue?
Yeah, on the chest, and the eyes are different. The
Are they red eyes
black.
rather than yellow? Because that's the eternal
Yeah.
argument.
I don't
Yeah.
know. The Netflix eyes were red in my version, so
So maybe it's not different.
and the blue seems darker in the photo,
The gold
yeah,
is more
Emgo is
prominent.
and the yellow is more gold, as Pete said right there. But Pete did a lot of mistakes at the start, so I'm a bit disappointed.
Moving on. There's the Earth. Was he Earthrise or Kingdom? It was Earthrise, wasn't it?
Let Pete go first to see the
No.
mistakes out of the way, so
No.
we can see the proper stuff.
Fuck you, Jamie. I think it was the yeah. I think
Angry
it was the
Pete.
Earthrise one. Yeah. I think it was the Earthrise one.
Yeah, and he comes with that throne that came with the coronation Starscream. And that's it, really. That's the three pictures
How many
that we had with
thrones does you need in your collection?
Hey, we got another one coming
You
with
can
this.
never have enough.
Tidal wave. Now this right. We'll get into this. So this is from Sam. I've forgotten Sam's other name. Sam Smith. Who's what part of the Hasbro design team, and he's put these pictures on of the kind of the process that they went through in designing the new Titan tidal wave. That's apparently going to be part of the box art, which just is awesome. But a lot of people have been asking the question: can we identify these random bots fighting him? I love the fact they put him in the ocean. Just like in the game, you know, the Transformers game for the PlayStation 2 from 2000. That was a great game. I loved him in Sonic. Anyway, there's the alt modes. It's definitely a base mode. It's definitely not just him laid down with his legs and arms splayed out. Wait, that is base mode. And
it's
anyway,
not the worst base mode, is it? It's definitely, I think it's one of the better base modes. Like,
it's one of those ones though that you probably transform him into once and then never again.
See, this is what Broadside.
Hello to you as well, Ian. Thanks for noticing.
This is what Broadside could have been, right? You know,
well, particularly, I mean, we might get one as we'll see in a little bit. If you're a fan of Tidal Wave, you see, I like the colours because they're the colours from the actual cartoon, which they got in Japan, but over here we got the Western colours. So some people are saying they'd have preferred it in the Western colours, but you know, you can't please all the people all the time. Plus, they'll probably just recolor it. Anyway, there he is with some comparison size shots with a couple of other of the Titans, or as Alexis might call them, Titans. There's the size of the alt modes. So, you know, he's a bulky boy, at least lengthwise. Perhaps not got the girth. And there they are flying.
Can I just say quickly? I say very quickly that one of them goes chat posted. He's read this round up message and been tweeting our show. And a colleague has been pausing for a long period. I think he's read my very long message, but he hasn't read it out.
So next step is to concentrate on the show you're live on.
Yes.
There's a first time for everything.
In the first words of Robin from Batman, Titans go.
Yeah. There's right. So there he is his size with this comparison with the leader Megatron, and also how you can actually get into that kind of combined burning Megatron mode, because he comes with a set of little faux mini parts that then can combine with leader Megatron. So there you go. And there's kind of how it'll look once you combine them up, which again is from the show. So for those people who are fans of Transformers Armada, that's pretty awesome. And there's a Digibash by Elecman20 of what he might look like if they recolored it as Broadside.
It's cool.
Brother from another mother, see?
Although you'd have to drop the jet mode, I suppose, because he only turns into a kind of Correa thing.
I've killed the other show. I'm going to come focus on that one.
Yeah, it'd take a lot of retooling now.
Leave Emgo alone.
Plus, it'll probably look shit, just like the original.
People now asking questions.
Oh no, please don't. Stop bothering Emgo, because one day you might be our friend.
I said very politely, nice to have some competition for once this evening. Phil, when you finish it, come join our lovely channel.
He's like the biggest YouTuber in the world.
How many subscribers has he got?
Over 500,000 now. We're close.
Shush. Real news now. Big news. Jamie. So Jamie's lovely, delightful photo there of Jamie, you tell the people, seeing as it's your photo.
Basically, one of my photos has been used just for an online Transformers sales site based in France, and I've always been said the French are wonderful people. And
they clearly don't watch the show.
And,
did they watch our Rebirth special?
And so
Frankfurt
yeah,
bus.
Rebirth.
so the person contacted me to get permission to use the image, and yes, I did. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So Jamie's soon going to be pulling in the $, and he'll be buying us all
I
wonderful.
love how you just said basically online retailers are now asking me to use my pictures because they're so freaking fantastic. However, I don't want to draw attention to it. Just
I don't want you
it's
to
just
talk
very
about
basic. It's very basic. I'm
It's like that charity work.
I
Don't like to bring it up.
I have the same with these like anti sort of like devices to protect women and stuff. Like can you make do you want to use your photograph?
Please
like,
stop. Please stop talking.
Drew's come up with the biggest in joke for TFUK Con, just Rebirth t-shirts.
Yes, Drew. Yes.
Oh dear. Anyway, soon to be sponsored by Love Honey. Right, moving on. So this is YOLO Park AMK Series Pro G1 Megatron purple version. You can tell I'm not reading it, can't you? The non-transformable action figure. This is clear, crotch thrust, obviously. Clear purple version of their 20 centimeter tall AMK Pro Megatron. And there's some photos just to basically show it. It was a limited item available exclusively at the recent Singapore Comic Con. I want Shanghai, it was Singapore. Sorry.
It's not, they can't buy it then.
Well, I mean, it might turn up on some online retailers, but I'm doubting it'll be cheap. Anyway, there you go. There you go. You can swap his parts out with the previous version.
That's very cool. Yeah, that's wicked.
It's 3 centimeters bigger than the red figure, which is obviously half transformed. But like you can have like an evolution of them in a line, couldn't you? Like as he evolves into Galvatron.
Very cool.
You don't re-evolve, you evolve. Anyway, there he is, and yeah, looking nice. And then this. So this was a bit of a random one. I've not seen these before. So this is a Chinese company called Way Studios, and revealed their through their Weibo account their new officially licensed Bumblebee movie blind box figurines. So they're all going to be 10 to 14 centimeters tall, including the base, and they'll be releasing blind boxes. So you could get any of these Bumblebee movie characters. So we'll just have a look through some of the photos. They do seem quite detailed, considering they're not massive. There's going to be. Do you want me to tell you? There's going to be Optimus Prime and a shattered glass version called Optronics. There's going to be Bumblebee and a shattered glass Goldbug, Soundwave and a shattered glass version of Soundwave, and Shockwave. There's no information yet, at least not concrete information, on price or release date or availability outside of China. But, somebody will source some of these from somewhere. You'll see them at TFN, I'm sure.
Why are they using cavity wall filler as a prop?
Because they are. Because reasons. Don't pick holes. Anyway, there you go. I mean, they look all right. Not my thing. But if you like blind boxes and stuff like that, it's almost like a form of gambling. Rather go to the bingo. One for you,
great segue.
Hey. And there you go. So it shows the heights there, but also, although for some reason it's blocked out the height of that one, I think it's because it was from a video and it's a still. That's your percentage chance of getting each particular figure. So
hang on, let me just add that up. Let me just the
okay, you do that.
Whoa.
And there's Optronics, the shattered glass version, and that's all of the mainline news that was worth reporting.
This is mainline, is it? Is that actually mainline then?
Yeah, because they're licensed from Rebirth. Right, where were we? Should we do some third-party news because we have to?
Party time. Cool.
Fuck my life.
You need to then play the next bit later on.
Oh dear. Can you play that again in a few minutes when my screen isn't dominated by the news and I can actually see this shit? Right. Right. This is Fans Hobby have put out more photos of their MB-26 Sabre team, which is the Armada Air Defense Team minicons. So you get to see some photos of them now in their robot modes, little minicon dudes, obviously forming the Star Saber, and you get to see some photos of them with the actual
cool,
larger Fans Hobby figures, so you can get an idea of the look.
Would Would you get this, Jamie, as like the mini cons? Like, would you, if they sold it separately, would you get the mini cons that's formed into Star Swaber's sword? Sorry, his Swaber.
If they sold them,
That's a new one. Star
if they sold
Swaber.
them separately, I possibly would.
They look pretty cool.
We're gonna have a whole range of t-shirts this way. That's way better. Oh, I love it. Right, there he is with Megatron, or they are, I should say, with Megatron. Yeah, looking pretty cool. I'm assuming. I don't know what the is that going to be 5mm? Is that going to work on a mainline figure?
Yes, he has, RJ.
I thought it was a good guy. I thought the Star Saber was a good.
It kind of can be claimed by whoever's got hold of it. Anyway, right, and then there's this.
Then.
Jamie, Alexis, sorry, you might need to kind of, you know what this is. This is Doctor Wu, right? Obviously, because it says down in the bottom right corner. Which characters is this supposed to be?
So this is, I mean, I thought it was obviously the Tech Combiner from Blaster, what's it called? But it's not, obviously, it's new, because that's like a little mini Allosaurus. So
these are designed to go with the Legacy Blaster, though, aren't they? They're designed to go with the mainline one, according to the information I've just found here.
So they've done them already. They've done the main ones. They've done the other combiners. I can't remember the names of them though. Beast Box and Squat Box, whatever. They've done the Decepticon one, and you've got Skyhammer and Tank something. I can't remember.
It says here that this is the combiner Decibel, and it's formed by Graphy, the Pteranodon, and Noise, the Allosaurus. And these are just sketches. Apparently, they'll be due out in autumn of next year in China.
Kudos to them. Their dinosaur rotations are actually quite on the par. I did think it was Allosaurus based on the shape and sculpt. Everyone can get a pterodactyl.
I don't think anyone can technically 100% corroborate.
Just because you're dressed like it, mate. You are it. You are it. If you see what Pete is the combined figure.
There he is. Impact Wave. That should be his new nickname. Impact Wave. Right, there you go. And that's all the news.
If the ladies are interested, Supersonic Explosion.
That was the speed.
Dogs can hear him ejaculate.
Taste my biscuit. So next we have pickups.
We now return to the Transformers.
Right, go on. Mind if you lead us with this? With your pickups, what did you get over the last week?
Anybody else not hearing Paul?
I got the ability to hear you underwater.
Hello.
There we go.
Hi.
I'm back. Sorry.
Hi. How you doing?
I think I was drumming at the same time. I got excited. Pete, would you like to take us through your Transformers pickups of the week, please, as it's pickups?
Yep. I didn't get any.
Cool.
I got nothing this week. I'm on a purchase embargo in the lead up to Christmas. I've been a good boy this year. I'm hoping Santa brings me something nice.
Yeah, I reckon this is the week we get the least in the year. What did you get, Alexis, this week?
Me?
Up, did you?
I didn't really get anything, but I'll give you a status. I did start putting together Boulder Hill or whatever the arc. This is the front
That's
of it.
bigger than I thought.
So turn around this way because I'm applying. I'm like halfway through now, so I'm doing a little video on it as well. So that'll come out when I finish that, which will probably be next week. I'm off next week, so I'll get finished that off. I'm about halfway through. It's taking about an hour per section. There's 8 sections. This one's the big one. This one's like a double section, but the next 2 are smaller ones. So probably another 3 hours worth of construction, and it will be complete. And then I will display it for next week's show.
What's the kind of the build like? What are the bricks like? Is it like Lego, or is it quite good quality?
You couldn't tell the difference with the actual quality of it compared to Lego. The design to me, and again, until I see the whole design right, it doesn't feel as I was engineered well as Lego. Like to me, when you build Lego, they've kind of thought about every possibility to make the structure. There's no weak points, right? It's structurally rigid across, right, everywhere, right? Even the small things, the big things, right? There's a way of combining it. They make there's little things in here which I think, oh, I would have put that piece and maybe that place, and maybe they've changed it because of cost reasons. And it's like, you know, like when you put like, if you're building up on 2 blocks here and a block here, you would then change them over, wouldn't you? So you get straight through. They don't do that throughout the construction building up. And there are a little bit of weak points I found in the structure. But again, there might be parts that don't have to move at the end result. So once I've completed the whole thing, I'll make my judgment. It does come with this really cool little Lego tool, which is quite good. So you can use that for various things. And so it's got like a...
Lots of normal Lego comes with that anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, doesn't it? I know, I'm an old school.
They've copied that as well.
I have no idea. I mean, to be honest, they could have just bought lots of Lego, right?
Would it have helped if they'd done it in Duplo?
No.
That's the Titan conversation. Are things better in Duplo?
Do you know what? Do you know what?
Yes.
What would have helped?
Always.
Is if the first time I found out that it was Lego wasn't when you guys said last week, isn't that the Lego one? What the fuck? It's not. It's what? It's Lego.
You thought it was
How long is it?
About 6
Take measure.
inches. What are you talking
You got your glasses on.
about?
Well, you're definitely not talking about your penis, that's for sure.
What is that?
Through that,
That's
does
like-
it look about 6 and a 7
I
inches?
feel like we're moving on from. Pickups.
You didn't
What
like
is
your
that?
extracting
Right,
DNA
you read
from
those.
thighs
You try and
in
count
amber.
all the
To
little.
be
you
fair,
try and count
Pete,
the
you
blocks.
opened the door. You opened the
This is
door.
quite small.
No.
This is really small.
What?
I have
Harry,
to-
where
you
did
have
you
to
get them?
read
Where
the
did you get them? When did you pick them up?
Sam bought them for me. They're my bedroom glasses.
He's had them
there.
for a while. He's
There
shown
you
these
go.
bad boys on.
When he
Now I
needs
can-
to-
now I
when
can
he needs
see- now I can see
When he
under the
needs to
covers.
put on a condom, this is what he brings out.
That's it.
You know,
I've got different
Are
size.
you going mining? I feel like you are.
I've
I
got
don't
different
know,
size
I'm
lenses.
covered
I've
in
got
grease.
different size lenses, depending on how far I am
Do you know,
away from
in
the
all
apparatus.
honesty,
You look like no blow top.
I've had a shit week, but seeing you wearing them has just made it all better.
I love how you've also had no pickups, and without doubt, that's probably the longest we'll spend on pickups. Did you have anything else, though?
Just look around, just double check.
No, what the...
No, I've had nothing at all. I've had nothing at all, mate.
Make something else up.
Andy,
Nothing at all.
did you get anything this week, mate?
No, I'm in the same boat as Pete, so no, nothing for me. I can make something up if you want, then talk about it for 15 minutes.
Embargo.
I mean, it's something you
Whatever's
got
good for you.
in some distant past.
Then pull out some random little microscope glasses. No, I don't actually have any of those.
Are you performing surgery with them or what?
Oh my god! Imagine if Alexis turned up as your surgeon just before you went out.
So I use it if I'm going to be doing like kit building,
Yeah.
or on this, and it's quite good here because again,
so
like,
Alex is still talking about his non-pickups. This
trying
is
to
Sound
look at
somehow-
like try and count the.
We jokingly
like
asked
that, right?
questions about why
You
he's
gotta
got them, and now
you
he's
gotta count
actually
the blocks.
answering.
Very
We
hard.
know
count
why
the
you've
blocks.
got them. We know
How
why
am I
you've got
looking-
them.
I have a little counting tool. This is my counting tool.
Have
I
you
count.
still
I
got
go 1,
Casey?
2, 3. I'm like a dentist. 4, 5. I count. I go.
Yeah.
Oh dear me.
Yeah.
Oh my
So-
goodness.
Have you still got Casey the doll?
Who? Oh fuck!
Chasey.
Is that still here? Maybe, or it might be sent back to you, the postmate. If the postman just turns up on fire one day, you'll get back to the flame.
Oh, what's she like? Chasey. Jamie, sorry, did you get anything?
I got the human transformer, Chuckles. Quite a good figure. You know, if you know from the cartoon Action Force, blah blah blah. Yeah, bit flamboyant character, quite different as well. Yeah, so he should be quite fun. Looking forward to opening this guy up at a later date. It's a bit battered though, you know, like
Aren't we all?
yeah.
Some more than others. All right, Graham.
Rihanna.
We'll be sure.
G-Wagon.
Jesus Christ.
I didn't want to finish the sentence. I thought I'd let someone else be a bit
I didn't get anything this week. I got some Starship trade that I've been after for a while. The CC1701A refit, which was really hard to get hold of, but I've done the exchange now, so I've posted my side of the bargain. That should be with me next week. So no Transformers stuff. I do want some Transformers. Just don't know what to get. Weird, isn't it? But it's fine. It's absolutely fine. So should we move on? And let's do a little bit of foreplay. Yeah. Do a little bit of foreplay. Speeding through today.
We're going to be done by quarter tonight.
No
Nice
Rohan
one.
tonight. No Rohan
No,
tonight.
we won't.
No
At
Rohan.
all.
Lynn, these are sex people.
What do you mean?
They're sex swappers. Lynn, this is DEFCON 1. Look. Look. Don't make the same noise as them. Don't think you want to join in.
Something will fucking happen which will make it go on for like 2 hours 50 or something. It's fine.
We normally call
right.
that Lexus.
Yeah.
It's never me, actually.
Sorry, yeah. Refit Constitution class.
Why are you lying?
Oh, did you get it wrong?
Exit class.
I'm shocked.
I did say refit. I didn't say Constitution.
Scandalous. Thank God Ed's here to correct you.
Yeah. Slap him down, Ed.
So today we're having a look. Our foreplay is our top 5 Titan Transformers. So not only the top 5 robots, top 5 bots, top 5 releases, which are Titan class, but also our top 5 characters as well, who we just loved in that. So who would like to kick us off with this?
I could go first.
Jamie, thank you.
My top Titan is Scorpionox,
Nice.
and that's definitely top Titan toy. And it's just an immense toy. The new version is a men's toy. But that original toy from the 1980s, it was just huge at the time. At the time it's released, it definitely was the biggest G1 Transformer toy out there. And it was a fantastic base. It had little compartments that opened up. You put the head in, you got a digital readout. You know, it was just awesome. It's been, you know, toys where it can manage to the mechanical base and, you know, connections worked. And it was brilliant. And it transformed into this sort of purple green scorpion, which just worked. And it was brilliant because it was almost like at that time, you had the smaller Action Force figures or even your Star Wars figures. You know, the scale kind of worked as well. It was a big mechanoid robot. It could go mashing its way through humans, etc. You know, so you could cross play with that toy. And I think it was a mini adventure for any kid who got that as a Christmas present, because it was a big thing. You know, it's just like one of those sort of like epic moments of your childhood, and I just can't imagine other toys being like that today. You know, because a lot of toys are very much stuck in the franchise they're in. There's not that much of a crossplay potential. Where I think with Hasbro at that time, you know, it was able to do that and get away with it. And it was just, and the colors as well. The colors are brilliant. It just must have been a wonderful toy visually. Even parents looking at that must have thought, this is a toy kids are going to love. And the thing with Scorpionox is you went into the comics, the colors stayed the same, you know, and you just had this evil son of a bitch. You had a redemption arc towards the end, which kind of made sense. Because the thing about Scorpionox as a character, and this is my favorite Titan character, even though in the Marvel comics he was obviously downscaled, wasn't a Titan in the G1 Marvel comics, you know, but he was still a massive big bot. He was just evil, and he had evil, but he had reasons behind it as well, and he developed as a character. And when it came to that crossroad decision, when you have to turn right or turn left, you know, you have to do the good thing or not, and continue. He chose to do the good thing, knowing damn well that was it for him. And if that's not a heroic Autobot, I don't know what is. When you know what his fate was going to be, and he's chose to do the right thing, because, you know, we sometimes don't like it when we're very tribal today, society, and we don't like it when people change sides or people play both sides. But in that sense, you know, Scorpionox switched over, and I wouldn't say he became the Autobot, because he didn't. He became a good Transformer, and I think that's something I remember from the G1 comics. In the cartoon, he definitely was a Titan, and he was a big boy in the cartoon. And when you saw him in the Rebirth, or Alexis's cheap porno French version that he watched, he was massive, and it was like, and it was that time because we hadn't got to see the cartoons fully because the seasons were scattered, they were split apart. Especially if you're unfortunate enough to watch it on ITV with that bloody adverts and stuff between it. We never really got to see your Triptychon much or your Metroplex. So when we got to see Scorponok and how he originated and him fighting Fortress Maximus, that was the first time to me I got to see an actual Titan, and it was just amazing. And obviously the headmaster Lord Zarek was very well developed as well. So you just had this great character inserted into an awesome cartoon. So you not only had an awesome caricature of him as in the comic, you had it in the cartoon as well. And and the toy looked like both the cartoon and the comic. So you couldn't get a more perfect toy. And because scale was up and down, it just fitted. So it was the ideal toy. The ideal toy represented ideally, to my mind, in the comics and in the cartoon. You couldn't ask for better at that time.
Good choice.
Why don't you just marry him? Jesus.
Shutting him up.
Right, I'll do my next. So for my one, I was if he's a Titan. I think he's a Titan. He was released as a Titan. Was Christmas opening up this motherfucker. He was the biggest toy I'd ever opened up. I couldn't believe how huge it was. He was Metroplex. He was massive, like the original G1 toy. I'm talking about. But also his character, and he wasn't in the lot. I can't remember him being in a lot of programs and stuff. And I was so excited when he was it in the movie, or was it when they had the hate plague where they had to say, "Oh, you need to lock down Metroplex so no one gets hold of him"? I think it was a bit
Hate
of both.
plague.
Hate plague.
He wasn't in the movie. I mean, he was, but he wasn't. He was supposed to be rerun. You saw bits of him.
That's it. And I remember watching the movie and going, "Oh, at any minute now, like when the Decepticons are just about to win, like they've got to get Metroplex out of the bag because like he's the most powerful Transformer in the whole wide world. He's going to come out and kick some ass, and of course he never does." But as a toy, like just such a good character. Really enjoyed him. Now, in terms of the one which I remember the most, in terms of my favourite toy to actually play with, is the one which I played with my sons the most. And this guy came out when Titans Returns was in full swing. And I think, to me, when I think back, I think that's one of like the apogees, like the best bits of Hasbro when they're firing out loads of awesome Transformers. And the headmaster gimmick, which they applied to more than just the headmasters, was good. They actually fitted this guy, which of course is Fort Max. And I can't believe it that his headmaster was like a whole complete toy in itself, which sat with another headmaster on top of it. But getting this back to Lucas, who at the time probably was about 3 years old, or maybe 2.5, and it was roughly the same height as Lucas. You can imagine as a kid he was already enjoying. I think it was RID 2015, and we started to pick up the toys for him. And then I picked up the SDCC Fort Max for me. The look on his face when I just came down with this huge Transformer toy, which was the same size as him, was epic. I always remember that. I've got photos on Facebook of us setting all our toys up, having these massive wars, using the shitty base mode as well. In the heart of it, it's a crap Transformer, isn't it? Because Fort Max doesn't really transform into anything good. That's probably always going to be a criticism of some of the Titans. I always think Nemesis is good because it turns into such a good spaceship. But yeah, Fort Max was my choice for the toy I like the most. Who would like to go next?
Every base mode. Spread your legs, let me inside. That's it. That's what they do, right?
I'll probably go because my choice was going to be Fort Max. The Titans Return.
Segue.
I think
we'll get some overlap here, won't we?
I think it's quite possibly my favourite Titan that I've got. But obviously, I didn't have a G1 Fort Max. You know, my exposure to him was in the cartoons and in the comics, where you know he was a pacifist and he disappeared. He didn't want anything to do with the war. You know, they went on to new Nebulous and try to start a new life, but he was drawn back in, and I think there was that challenge all the way through, probably right up until, you know, the Marvel comics were coming to the end, where he actually then finally really gave in and was like, do you know what? I'm not going to get away from fighting. And I always remember that battle with him and Galvatron in the snow, where they found the Ark and stuff. So for me, Fort Max, both in terms of, I think, how he was portrayed in media, and the Titans Return version is just wicked.
Do you want to go, Andy? Or
I can do, yeah. Well, it's up to you. Yeah, I don't mind.
you go. You start talking.
Let's just start talking. All right, that was very well put, Pete.
Paul's gone to
Just like everybody else's. There's going to be a bit of overlap here, I think, but that was almost inevitable. Now, this is more of an honourable shout out because I love this figure, which if Paul or whoever is still around can share. Thank you. I love the. I think this is the best in terms of the actual figure and the posing it can do and its general balance and articulation. I think this Legacy Metroplex is the best of the Titans that I've had, and it's the most fun, which is a bit annoying because it's probably the least popular one in terms of it wasn't a hugely popular character from Transformers Cybertron, and so there's a lot of people that just haven't picked it up because they didn't like the Unicron trilogy. But it's a fantastic figure. Yes, I know it has a daft alt mode. I totally get that, and the secondary robot work mode isn't particularly great, but I mean it's all accurate to the show. But it's still a fantastic figure, and in terms of its robot mode and stuff, it just feels more solid than the Fortress Maximus or the Metroplex have done. And yeah, definitely the one I kind of most enjoy getting off the side behind me. Nope, that side. And having a mess around with, and then replacing back in a static position. This is the only way I can fit him in anywhere. Let's not talk too much about this. I mean, it's from the show, so they gave him it. And yeah, we don't talk too much about that. It's not exactly the most fun thing in the world. Although I think if you're a kid, you'd probably enjoy it more. And I didn't realize it's actually based on a real massive construction vehicle that they have, which is used for mining. But still, anyway. But that's not my favorite Titan. I love that toy, but that's not my favorite Titan. My favorite Titan ever is the same as Jamie's. It's Scorponok. And it has to be because mostly of the comic book and the fact that I had the G1 toy as a kid. I loved Scorponok in the comic books. Some of my favorite storylines involved him being the leader of the Decepticons. Some might say he's the originator of the Pretender process, although other stories have kind of contradicted that as the years have gone by. And Pretenders are awesome, even though they were crap at the time. So yeah, Scorponok would be my choice, just because I just love it. I always have. He was the only Titan I had when I was a kid. I didn't have Metroplex as a kid. I always remember this, the front cover of the annual and that look. Yeah. And then the stories that featured him in the annual as well, the annual stories where he was kind of trying to capture highbrow and just really, really fantastic stories. And I really enjoyed them. And even in the modern comics, he hasn't always been painted in such a great light. But I mean, I've still enjoyed reading it. He did kill Misfire, which ticked me off slightly.
I just like how Transformers, they've got teeth. You know, when
why not? Hey, give them some teeth in there. I was listening to which podcast was it? Triple Takeover, and they were talking about a scene in a G.I. Joe Transformers crossover comic where Megatron. Spoilers. So if you're reading these comics, you don't want to hear this spoilers. But apparently, there's a bit where Megatron actually eats a human being just to see what they're like, puts it in his mouth and crunches them up. So a G.I. Joe. So teeth. I never really understood it, but they've got them. And then, of course, the toys. I did some of my own photography that's certainly not stolen from Cybertron.com. The original toy is just immense. It was so. I still maintain it's one of the best play sets from the original G1 Transformers. It was just, like Jamie said, you could just interact it with so many other toys, and it was just fun, and the colours and everything about it. And I still love my original. And little Fast Track. We can't forget Fast Track.
It was awesome when I chose him as a substitute for when I played Sabitio. Fucking hate that.
Sweet Jesus, that team's winning. But it's daft things like I loved his gun and the shield on his arm and everything. It just everything about the figure I just thought was fantastic as a kid, and still do. It's still one of my favorite ever G1 toys. And the modern version, of course, which I'm lucky enough to own, which again is such a fantastic figure and one of the best Titans that you can get. So solid, looks so much like the figure, and is just such a brilliant modern recreation of the toy and the character. But I have to admit, my favorite version of the character, if you're going to go into the media, is definitely the G1, particularly the UK Marvel comics, where they just made him so evil, yes, but intelligent, and also, like Jamie said, that redemption arc that he goes on, and that kind of heroic death in the end. You know, it was just brilliant to watch. I mean, not great when he died, because I was actually a bit upset at the time. I was more upset about him dying than Optimus Prime, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
But there you go. That's a personal choice.
Optimus Prime, he died so many times.
Exactly. You know he's going to be be back. Didn't know
He's
Scorpion
sensitized.
Oh, he's dead again, is he?
Return of the Prime. Oh yeah, Return of the Prime.
And Zarak. I like the story with Zarak, because I like the fact that they kind of wrote it as if Zarak's, well, I won't say humanity because he was Nebulan, but that element of how he hit that, it was humanity that kind of started to infect almost Scorponok. So he started to actually think about what he was doing, and the whole thing with the story of Zarak and his daughter, and how that's why part of the reason why he took the Decepticons away to chase after the Autobots in the end.
The soul.
Yeah, he did. Well, that was it. I left a conscience.
I often think in the comics, the way that it was done, and I think it was accidentally done in the G1 Transformer Marvel comics, is their technology level was almost the same as Earth's technology level. And I don't know if that was more of a happy coincidence because, you know, sci-fi novels weren't so many of them. But the technology level was quite simplistic, and if anything, they didn't know how to really get energy from our resources to develop. You had Sparkplug, Spike, or even Buster in the comics being able to work and repair Transformers, and they were just simple car mechanics or engineers. And I kind of liked that level. And the way I look at it is the Transformers were almost like a genetic dead end. They were stagnant. They weren't progressing and moving forward. When you think of AIs and computers, you know, once it starts off, it just goes off like a rocket, and suddenly, you know, it just starts
the end of their existence.
Yeah, they're genetic dead end. That's why I said a genetic dead end.
Yeah, but I'm qualifying that.
I can keep saying no. It's clarified enough by saying a genetic dead end. But the thing is, I think when they hit humanity kick-started the evolution again, because then you started to get combiners. You started to, like in the cartoon, you had the Dinobots starting to come. You started to have team-placed Transformers. And what you said, Andy, when you gave your example, the humanity starting to infect Scorponok. So humanity was infecting the Autobots. So suddenly you had things like Pretenders starting to come. You had your Target Masters, you had your Headmasters, which were a bit more explicit, but there was so many other subtle changes that started to occur. And then you even started to get your Titans. So I like to think, you know, when they encountered other alien races, that moved them forward. And I think that's maybe why the comics in G1 Marvel had an advantage, where when you look at Bayverse and you look at the modern Transformer comics now, they're almost kind of stuck in a technological trap where the Transformers need to be advanced rather than just be a simple different form of life.
Although, who was the scientist? Who was the American scientist who actually said that this whole idea of how they could have reverse engineered that, like the story of the last 150 odd years of technology jumping so quickly forward for humanity in the movies is, of course, because they discovered Megatron, and the idea is they reverse engineered it all. And he actually said in an interview on that was on, well, it was recorded, but it was also, I think, for a radio show, and he actually said that's actually extremely plausible. Like the idea of it, if you look at how quickly human technology, and I love the idea that he was buying into it. He did admit it's complete bollocks. Of course, it's not true. But
that's the
really,
physics guy, isn't it? The physics guy, the one who does space.
Tony Hart.
Oh. I loved him. I loved him with science.
Yeah,
he was the computer voice guy, right?
Tony Hart invented Morph. He invented Morph.
No, I know.
That intergalactic being. That
Clarification.
That being that could.
Moff's one comment of the week.
I wish my. I hope his wife's not watching this.
Yeah, great. Good point, Deadpan.
We've all enjoyed.
Is it Neil Tyson you're talking about?
Yes. Is it Neil Tyson deGrasse or something like that? Is that his full name? Anyway, yeah. I know you mean, yeah.
Neil deGrasse Tyson, yeah.
I thought you were talking about a character scientist from the show.
No. Like in real life, this leading scientist. Actually, there's a clip you can find on YouTube and stuff like that.
He's not that much of a leading scientist. He's a celebrity scientist. There's a big difference.
A leading scientist for people who actually
don't know anything about
he said.
And then you get a proper scientist comment, and he gets skilled quite a lot. I've noticed.
Technically, real scientist is very subjective, though, isn't it? There's nothing in the base of that. That's
Right.
really
Okay.
odd.
Can I get this back on
Says
track?
the scientist in the group.
Favorite Titan
This,
ever
this is it. This is the
Scorpion
kink in the road.
was
So-
awesome choice. Well done on Scorpion.
Touch on
I
a couple
think
of points.
so much so that he. Sorry, go on, Alexis. You haven't
There you
spoken
go.
much.
You go.
It was
For
just
10 seconds.
No, I was just thinking that Scorpion, has he got the best alt mode of any Titan? It's definitely
Oh,
up
that's
there
a good
with
question.
Nemesis.
The base.
But how good would so then it got me thinking about Triptychon. How good would be him if he had a robot mode?
Mm.
You know,
That would
that's
be
the thing
cool,
with
that would be
Triptychon, I
pretty
think.
cool.
Yeah, if he could transform into a robot from the like,
Yeah,
what is he, a dinosaur? Is he just a
T-Rex?
Godzilla type monster? Whatever he is. If he had a robot mode from that would have been pretty
Yeah.
freaking
Decepticon
awesome.
kind of reminds me of like a good design GoBot. Like if you had the epitome of GoBot evolution, it'd be Triptychon. You know, the pinnacle of GoBot evolution.
He's got their intelligence. I'll give you that.
right. Who's next?
Me. So just on 2
Go on,
points you said about his you liked his gun and the Scorpion's gun and Scorpion's shield.
Yes, which
Yeah,
you can get in the add-on, not add-on kit, the what you call it kit, can't you?
DNA
It's one
DNA
that comes
kit.
with the gun. DNA, that's the one.
They actually in the Headmaster's cartoon they actually made a big thing out of his shield. So spoiler alert, they said it was like the one thing that could prevent Fort Max's big sword from actually penetrating him. Like that was because he's every week Scorpion got penetrated by Fortress Maximus, right?
Just
You know,
walking around with it like that.
and then he had his
Or not.
and then when
Tell
he
Titans stop having babies.
when he wore his protection, his protection, his shield.
You downloaded the wrong Headmasters, or maybe the right
Yeah.
one.
Overall shield, aka contraception.
And to your point on the Cybertron Metroplex, Paul, can you just share the image I've got on the or Jamie, the image in the background? So I thought again, stupid Titan, but it's not because it's taken from the
There you
Badger,
go, yeah.
anyway, which was created in 1970. It's 13,500 tons. It's an excavator in Germany. It does a quarter of 240,000 metric tons of coal a day. It excavates. It's the biggest land vehicle on Earth. So I thought he was stupid, and I realized he was from this, and then he's obviously from one of the biggest badass vehicle on Earth. So
Alexis, there's another reason why Jamie should like it though, because Metroplex, the character from Transformers Cybertron, is Scottish. He speaks with a Scottish accent, as do many from the giant planet where he is the leader. So yeah, Jamie, you've got to take him on board here. Take him under your wing as a fellow Scot.
I'm not tribal. I'm not tribal.
What about when it's rugby?
I'm not superficial. I'm not superficial like that. Yeah.
I feel like this is Jerry Springer's like final thought. You're meant to be picking a Titan.
I am. So I'm not going to. I'm going to say.
That's about to move on.
I'm going to talk a little bit about this Titan, and I want you to try and guess which one it is. Because you had a few already, right? So
Because you haven't thought about it yet. Oh,
I have.
just fuck off.
I have.
He has,
Right.
because while we've been talking, that's what he was doing.
So this
Smoke and mirrors.
this Titan didn't start as a Titan. He started as a normal person, but he was no wait. Let me finish. But he was a bit of an inventor, shall we say? And then after he did inventions, he became quite popular. And it wasn't until he
With
got
the ladies
into,
or kissing club.
no, it wasn't until he got into sport and invested in sport that he became more of a Titan. But after
I'm not talking
that,
about
what
the
is-
Titans of industry. You do understand this. We're talking about Titans and Transformers.
So funny.
Is this going to be a really crap go?
Alan Sugar.
Yes, Brown Sugar. That's exactly what. So it's not Titans of
And
Industry.
you picked a wanker. I mean, what on earth?
No, I mean he's a Tottenham fan. That's
exactly. You're not.
That's Paul's
This is
club.
like a business version of Fans Toys Innuendo, isn't
And
it?
I really got
Alexis,
inspired
he's
with
not
The
watching.
Apprentice.
He's not going to give you a job.
No, I wanted a job with him back in 2005 when he did The Apprentice, which was my next part. Okay, fine. My favorite.
I'd have watched The Apprentice if you were on it, Alexis.
I don't know what this is. Just don't.
My favorite Titan was the Attack Titan, Aaron Yeager. Of all the Titans that were there, the top 10 Titans, Berthold was close, the Armor Titan, but Aaron Yeager, the Attack Titan, for me, because he comes full circle. Spoiler at the end, like he was the one that drove Attack on Titan.
I'm
through
going
its
to join your
10 years
Him
of
now.
what? Eren
Hang
Yeager
on.
was a
He's not even
Titan.
pissed. He's not even
Anybody
pissed.
in the chat,
Eren Yeager,
if anybody wants a place on Transformers the show, we've got a seat need going to
Yeah.
need to be
All
filled.
right, fine. But no, hang on. Everyone watches Attack on
It
Titan.
was
right?
two
Everyone knows
French
Eren Yeager.
in the new year.
Fine. Trip's
As
gone
is
to
Christmas.
dinosaur. Trip's
Trip's
gone.
gone,
He's
okay.
done.
As is Christmas,
Trip's
we
gone,
get to watch this
Trip's gone, he's
classic
done,
again.
having some difficulty with this. You know, I think it seems pretty self-explanatory. You know, but if Paul's watching this, then I'm doing this totally hard panther. I say totally hard panther. Yeah. So, you know, but why did I say? Maybe I had it. That was right. That was the correct. So let's go down. Oh, it starts to go sideways from there. Really so. And he's just a sweet, funny guy. He's really talented, and you know, people enjoy watching us together. So it's cool.
Memories.
Trip's gone because he was the first Titan I saw on screen. I didn't own it. I didn't realize that Metroplex was a Titan when I got him as a toy. But I saw Trip's on the screen first time in probably I think it was the Ultimate Weapon. That's probably the first time I saw him. And again, like
Why
you,
doesn't
Andy,
it feel
I
like
was
Alexis has been
what?
constantly talking since the show's began? You know,
He hasn't. He's been
To the
good.
dawn of time.
I'm not talking about anything to do with the show.
Can I just say there were no Titans back in the 80s because they weren't called Titans back then, of course.
I
Titans
think when Oct, and I went back and watched some of the episodes of season 3, and Octane sort of borrowed Triptychon almost. I think obviously he got flown into the abyss and into the water. Everyone thought he disappeared, and then obviously Octane borrowed him, didn't he, for his master plan. So when he tried taking over again, so for me, Trip's
I wish I was drinking vodka like I was last week. It's so much better when I'm drunk.
Choice.
You know what Triptychon's? I still think that was a decent toy. I don't know. I couldn't bring myself to love it, and I think the alt modes aren't great, but I like the actual base figure itself is good.
Yeah, it can eat stuff, good and technical.
I think it's underrated for what it was. I don't know if it's just because he's not the most popular Titan.
Yeah.
the original one as well, which could walk, right?
Yeah, the walking thing. Yeah, that's cool.
It was the first. I mean, obviously, Omega Supreme had the tank. I think it was the first.
Skylinks could walk, couldn't they?
Skylinks was post Triptychon, wasn't he? Because it was just.
Was he? I thought there
And
was
there's that. I don't know if you've seen the video of when it's Triptychon walking Skylinks. I think it was with the little lead around Skylinks' neck. It's like he's walking the dog.
Yes, I have seen.
Which I think is very funny.
Right, cool.
So-
Okay, good choices. Oh, I'm losing my voice. Before I lose my voice, let's get Rohan on stage. He's doing a review of 2023. It's over to you, Rohan.
Rohan.
Rohan's Corner. That show's awesome. Awesome. It's so awesome. Oh, so awesome. Awesome. Doesn't Rohan's Corner collect GoBots? That would be really late. One of the many robot franchises on his show. He treats them all the same. Awesome. He's got a wall of fame. Hello and welcome back to Rohan's Corner. Hey guys, and welcome to what is just the last couple of episodes left of 2023. Where has this year gone? I have absolutely no idea. And what that means is it's time for a bit of a wrap up for 2023. Let's have a look back at all of those ridiculous purchases and sales that I've made throughout the year and try and pinpoint where the gold is. But let's be honest with you, in 2023, I have spent virtually I say, almost the most I've ever spent on Transformers, £8,100 on approximately 118 different lots of purchases. There's still a couple of weeks left to go. I haven't actually bought anything throughout the whole of December, so presumably that will come into it. And last year I think I spent £29 more, so I pretty much expect to break that this year, but we shall see. Who knows? There's only a couple of weeks left, and Christmas is going to take up a lot of that time, and the holidays and seeing family and all that kind of jazz. However, in terms of sales, well, I mean, that's a different matter. I've made this year £15,780 on sales. I've sold some 228 different lots, so it's been a mega year in terms of sales for me. What do I think next year holds? I think there will be less sales. I think there will be less buying. I think overall I feel like this year's been great. Transformers has had a great year in terms of my Legends collecting. I've had some excellent bots come out from Magic Square, especially the Bruticus combiner has been excellent. We had the likes of MechVan's Toys Sandstorm, and from a Hasbro perspective, we've had the Legacy line, which has been decent. I've picked up quite a fair number of those figures, whether they be duplicates and whatever it is to pick up cheap, or to get some to sell, or just to pick up for the first time. And then at the same time, we'd have some corkers in the Studio Series 86 line, the likes of Ultra Magnus and some of the Dinobots, the such likes. But overall, if I were to try and pick one, I think it would be unfair to do that in this video. There are just so many bits and pieces that I've picked up through the year, and so many which are non-transforming figures as well. The likes of the Jada minifigures that I picked up when I went out to America, which seems like forever ago. A couple of amazing G2 bits and pieces, some wonderful customs I picked up from the wonderful Mr. Nathan Croak at the Cluttered Desk. So many bits that I could delve into and tell you about, but there's just too many. So instead, I'm going to put up, as I have been doing for many years at the beginning of this video, a little clip that goes through all of my Transformers pictures from the year, and you can enjoy that little slideshow as I'm talking. And at the same time, I'm going to leave you on this final thought, which is, when you're buying so many figures and you're selling so many figures, it's easy to get lost in the clutter, in the sheer volume of it. But I would suggest that 2024 looks like it's going to be a bumpy year. United is bringing back some animated figures, which I'm very excited about. We've got Robot Heroes making its debut in the Generations line with Chase, which I'm very excited about. We've seen the release of the Titan class Tidal Wave, brilliant. The Generations line Origins Wheeljack looks absolutely fantastic. Have been calling for that for ages. I'm really excited about that. And who knows where the line's going to go next. It looks really interesting. On our Legends front, I'm really hoping for more Magic Square goodness. Apparently, we've been told we're going to get the Dinobots. We're going to get another combiner, potentially 2 more combiners, and then who knows, finish off the Season 1 Carbot characters and move on to more Decepticons. I'd love to see more individual Decepticons or post-movie characters coming out there. So that's my wrap up on 2023. No cartoon to talk about as such, which is a bit of a shame in my opinion. Unfortunately, Netflix didn't pick that up. Let's hope that happens soon in the future, although who knows, we probably won't get one until Transformers 1. We do have that to look forward to. And I'd like to know from all of you, especially you on the show and all of you out there in the chat, what has been your favorite bot for 2023? This has been Rohan signing off. Until next week, back to the studio.
Transformers, Rohan's in disguise.
Oh, he's so good. He is so hot right now. So, top Transformer of the year so far? What are we going for, Andy? Sorry, I kind of thrown that out.
Oh, that's a very good question.
Spoiler.
I should know because I was thinking about this.
We'll do a proper episode on it.
Yeah, I'm not going to go through. I'm not going to give you the actual number
Shout
one,
to one,
but it might
tickle.
might be Bludgeon, just because I love that figure. But then again, it might not, because there are other figures out there that are also very good. Maybe it is.
Michael.
Maybe it wouldn't be. Maybe it's going to be
Michael.
something random. Maybe it's your mum. I don't know. We'll find out.
Maybe it's your mum.
Your mum.
Loads of people.
No.
Yeah, Sam. Toy,
That's a pick up every year, right?
What, your mum?
Hey!
Christmas tradition. Classic bands.
Sex.
Yeah, Dave Wave does have Dave Nipples as he's does have his top 5 video, which is worth a watch as well. Not now. Go after the show. Go after the show. But do go after the show.
If Emigrate's still
Probably-
going, don't watch that. Watch Dave.
This one wasn't released this year, but it was re-released this year, so I think it counts. I've still not torn into him properly, like transformed him loads of times, but always wanted this so badly, and I finally got him this year. You big boy, and he's come home with me. So
Can I just say, Paul, when we do this, Paul, when we actually do our top bots of the year, I am doing it as bots I picked up this year, not necessarily bots that came out this year. It's going to be.
I think that's the right thing to do. I think you have to have 2 bots which were released this year. Out of that,
yeah, of course.
I
You've got to have something.
Already starting to make wheels there, guys. Just saying.
Yeah.
You've got at least 6 bots from before
I like
this year.
I like the way he done it, though, because he went, Andy, I do agree with you, but...
I disagree with you, and I'm going to put a rule in, because you absolute anarchist.
It's I do agree with you, and
I'll go full Alexis and just ignore the rules.
That's the way you lead. You knock
New
these
Age Grimlock.
things on the head as quickly as possible.
But it's worse for you, Andy.
Shut them down.
Understand the rules.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you. I was coughing.
Right.
No, I really couldn't hear you. Just send me in the chat.
A lovely comment. One more each. Who had a lovely pickup?
New Age Grimlock. Quite
Oh,
possibly,
That's good.
the best Transformer in the last 40 years.
Ooh. New Age are fantastic. Volts, Ed said, is it the factory knockoff version? I think it is, isn't it? Alexis, isn't it? This isn't the original Make Toys. It says Make Toys, but I don't think it's proper.
it is.
Is it?
Yeah.
Make Toys are crazy. I don't even understand. Luke from Transformers The Show at Transformers UK is coming on next week, and he's got some great stories about Make Toys and the factories and stuff, and how they the
Make
drama
Tupperware.
behind the scenes. Yeah, so it'd be good to get that.
Unless he goes for a smoke beforehand, then he won't be on.
What are you suggesting? He will. He'll just be sat in his car while he's doing it.
Oh, you'll be like, butterflies are attacking me. Ah, no.
Stay away, Mr. Dragon.
We've all been there.
Crimsonflame.
My boy's like that.
Jamie,
actually.
Alexis.
My boy doesn't. Jamie doesn't like butterflies. He's not embarrassed about butterfly exposure. He hates it.
My
Your boy doesn't
favourite
like
bot
butterflies.
of the year is
my
definitely
bugs.
being Ultra Magnus. Complete surprise. I did not think I would actually like him, and he's just a superb Transformer. It goes to show that sometimes when a Transformer hits a lot of checkpoints in quality and the way it captures your imagination, you can almost forgive other things. You know, I know a lot of people talked about the scale. To me, I just didn't bother, and I'm a bit of a scale fanatic. You know, so yeah.
Bobby Skullface even said, he did his review of Deathsaurus last week. He even said he felt that Deathsaurus didn't feel quite as good quality as Ultra Magnus. Like, sorry, he didn't think it was like the price point extra. He said, like, if you look at Ultra Magnus, look at this, like, you can see, like, because some of the way that some of the soft plastic, for example, and some of the things, it just felt like you want a bit more for the price you're paying. Like, he felt Ultra Magnus, for example, was, you know, a very good figure. It was like.
Do you know, it's interesting you should say that, because normally I always buy Transformers straight out, and I obviously bought Ultra Magnus, so it's a bit annoying to see it go for sale at 60 quid. But not annoying, actually. I thought it was cool because it meant other people would buy it and appreciate it. And normally when something drops its price, I feel like it's annoying, you know, because I could have waited, but I didn't, because I really enjoyed what I got, and it really felt, even at 90 quid, it was value for money for me, because I didn't need any accessories for that fucker. You know, to me, it was like the complete package. I really enjoyed it. So when it was reduced to like 60 quid, or was it 70 quid in Amazon, I honestly thought that's fantastic. Someone else is going to buy this Transformer and they're going to enjoy it. And that's different for me, because normally when something gets reduced within a week or a month after you bought it, you go, oh, fuck, I could have waited. Or damn them, they're going to get that. And I didn't feel like that at all. I just thought, this is brilliant. I hope they buy it and I hope they enjoy it, because it's a good toy.
You were such a benevolent leader.
Yeah.
So kind of
I know,
you.
benevolent, compassionate, you know. I'm a gentle lover as well.
Are you going to cut the taxes over Christmas as well?
We are lucky.
Cheers, Dave.
Go on in, Alexis. The floor is yours.
I don't want to give too much away, but I have every time it's whatever I look at, and the two figures I've been looking at most of all recently, I've been appreciating, have been Fans Hobbies, Dreadwind, and MMC's version of Double Dealer. They're the two that I've been making eye contact with a lot of. They haven't made it to the bedroom yet, like in the they haven't had the parallelism like Paul does, like Paul's spots do. But they have been. They have been
in their old mode.
They have been licking their eyelashes with their eyeballs at me. Yeah, that's crazy.
Sam is a
that a
lucky girl. Your
parallelism?
dirty talk.
No, the parallelism is just fucking Transformers in bed.
I'm gonna lick your eyelashes.
Just fucking Transformers in bed.
Transformers.
While someone licks their eyelashes at me.
With their own eyeballs.
Like a gecko.
What a tremendously awkward fetish that'd be. Right in the eye. Oh,
Let me lick your eyes.
I could just hear Sam's voice.
Tongue in my corona.
Oh shit! Flashback. I knew a guy like doing that, like licking people's eyeballs.
Why is that a flashback?
Remember?
Because it's
No,
That's what I thought.
Everyone's like, no, there's bacteria in your bloody tongue, you idiot. And everyone's like, but girls let him lick their eyeballs.
Just say like
all your
girls
friends
lick their eyeballs.
licking each other's eyeballs, and you're sitting there going, guys, we shouldn't be doing this. There's bacteria. Shut up! I'm trying to lick a corona.
You do know that licking an eyeball was actually a medical procedure, which was to take out any sort of filament or any sort of dust or, you know, foreign object that got into your eye. And the good thing is with the tongue, it's not going to pierce or damage the eyeball at all. So it's almost the perfect tool to use to try to get that out.
The next time I spunk in your eyeball, Jamie, I'll be licking it right out.
No,
no.
Like you don't already, Alexis.
I mean, there's going to be more bacteria in the air or in water.
No. We've definitely gone rogue here.
What
He's even got a tape measure out. I'm not sure
what you don't want is the bacteria trapped between two layers in an awesome sort of breathing condition for a good couple of hours. Hence why you don't
like
put contact lenses on.
When you said layers, you should have just, if you'd have dropped onion in, it would have been like transported back to the early 2000s. Anyway, that's a discussion, Tomic. Thanks for joining the show this week.
What's next week's kink? We'll explore cottaging next week on the show.
Not sponsored by Love Honey.
Do you know, if we did get sponsored by Love Honey, it would be fantastic though.
Have you got a new favourite website, Jamie?
What did you pick up this week? Well,
I've never been on there actually. I didn't look at this Love Honey.
Gav, I think you misunderstood which balls he was talking about.
I mean, very romantic, Gav. However, we've gone off tangent.
When you're back in the cage, Gav.
Gav has got a cheeky smile, though, so you know.
You know what, Bister? My mate who did that is a medical person. Now I feel
Do you mean
very
you like Gav's balls?
Bister was saying that I don't think my friend's a medical professional. I said, if he is now, I'm really concerned. Although at least I know what to do now if someone gets some shit in their eye. You lick it out. You lick it out.
Characters most likely to get cottaging. Wow.
Right, I promise we've got a proper discussion coming up. It's not just this. Transformers characters most likely to get cottaging.
Just go envelope style.
No wheelie. Cup. I reckon Cup knocks it back.
Mirage.
Mirage, yeah.
No, he won't get caught.
Yeah, that's true. We'll be invisible.
We'll get
Still
caught.
count. He's still cottaging. if he's there
Cliff jumper will
watching.
get caught. Cliff jumper will get caught.
Yeah.
Uh,
Or
Okay,
jizz.
right.
I mean, Jazz.
Jamie, you've got something to share. You've got do you want me to add that?
Oh,
to the...
that's going to be the social thing, but I think we have to talk over the intro of the social thing to make sure we don't get a copyright strike.
Oh, is that? Oh, right. Yes, I think I saw something about that from last week.
Yeah, so we have to make sure we're
if
not
you play
muted.
about sound, I will sing it.
Oh, we play
Well,
the
that's
sound, but we
joy
just
of
talk
news.
over. Oh, sing over it, you know.
Let's all give our best. What's the
Right, here we go, then.
You sing it?
Let's go full Rohan on this thing.
No,
Go
you really want to do this? I don't think it's
real
going to work.
sexy.
Sexy.
Well, oh, sorry. That's I think I downloaded the wrong Rohan's Corner.
Oh, the right one.
Right, okay, you ready? So we're doing the social corner. Right, you have to shout over it. 'Cause it
Shout over it.
you hit the copyright if you don't. Right, 3, 2, 1.
Muted us. Muted us.
I don't mute you. That's StreamYard. StreamYard does that. I'll show
Oh,
you.
yeah,
I'm ready to
Unmute. Right, everybody unmute themselves. Ready?
Yeah,
I'm ready to go. I'm ready. I'm primed.
That was enough.
What?
This
That
has
was
just
enough.
gone off on a tangent.
Do you remember when Paul said we definitely will definitely
Ready
be longer
for
than
it.
you think?
Yeah.
Don't worry about that. We'll be here till next Tuesday. Right, Jamie. you
It's
ready
always
to
longer
add
than you
to the
think.
stage?
All right, yeah, ready to share. So, basically, just looking at Twitter and some of Instagram, and I didn't really look much at Instagram this week. I've been trying to cut back in social media just before Transformers, and I think social media can be a bit of a ball ache and be quite negative at times. So it's sometimes good just to step back and get away from the sort of fandom, which can be a bit fucking crazy at times. This is from Robert Cop 2. An awesome photo. If I took that photo, I'd be really pleased with that. I think it hits all the right checkpoints and stuff like that. Obviously, between you and me, guys, I like to give them. It's brilliant. It's a brilliant photo. But I don't think we should. I think there's enough good toy photographers out there. We don't need another good one. So Robert Cop.
I'll be a French website trying to find it too.
Yeah, but it's an awesome photo and it's brilliant. And I like when you get different perspectives like that. And I just think the color is awesome. The lighting is perfect as well. I noticed someone said something about the light and stuff like that, and I went, "Oh, fuck off! That light's awesome." But anyway, you got some Skywarp action here with G1 Scorpionox. I took this on board just because I thought we were talking about Titans and stuff like that, and it kind of reminded me how cute. Do you know how when you sometimes see someone take a photo or you see someone talk about something on Twitter, on Instagram, or Facebook, it almost makes you feel like you grab your toy, don't you? And then you feel like, oh, yeah, I want to do the same and copy. But then you feel like I'm just copying and mimicking. But I really wanted to take a G1 photo of Scorpionox after seeing that, and I just thought, oh god, it'd be too soon. So I'll make a week or something like that. You know? Or ask, yeah, oh yeah, it's a bright photo. Ian here was Chronicles of Cliff Jumper, guy doing stop motion on YouTube as well, as he does a lot of Instagram stuff where he tells stories and stuff, paying a sort of homage to Transformers The Sow when we did the sort of Ultra Magnus pictures and group shots there. So there's his version.
I like that a lot. Because that
Well,
shows obviously like the height difference between them is very similar between the MP and the Magnus, which means it could be like Marvel twins.
I like the action shot. I like the action shot. I like the fact you can see what the characters are. I like the special effects he uses. It's cool. You know, it's a cool image. Then you've got this another Morgan, I think from America. You know, taking some pictures of Death Source. There's a lot of Death Source pictures out there. A lot of the vagina uterus chair as well, which I think is pointless. But yeah, I'm jealous. I'm jealous to see the Death Source stuff because they're going to have 2 or 3 months of photos before any of the UK mob get it, unless of course you buy from In Demand. And I know In Demand are selling it something like, is it 350 or is it the Death Source? Yeah, I think 350 quid or something like that. I can't remember exactly because I didn't want to look and be tempted at all. But the point is, it might seem like a big markup, but they're not actually going to get much profit out of that. To be fair, they'd be lucky if they're hitting 50 quid profit, really. You know,
Can I say
so
something controversial about Deathsaurus? Like, you know,
Yeah,
how
go
he's
for
like the leader of the Breast Force members. I think Soundwave was the original Breast Force former, because if you look at Soundwave, all his tapes live in his chest, but he gets stronger when he releases them. Deathsaurus gets weaker when he releases them. His strength is retaining them in his chest. Soundwave is the opposite, but Soundwave is the original Breast Force.
how does Soundwave get stronger though?
Because they become his arsenal, his army, and Deathsaurus actually powers himself from his, because he needs, Deathsaurus needs so much power to retain his abilities.
So basically, what you're saying is when Soundwave has it in his chest, he can't utilize them. Where Deathsaurus can utilize them.
Correct. They're like a power source for him. Yeah. Yeah.
See, that's
comments on it.
Explain something and add to it and expand on it. But yeah,
Which is why it's called a conversation.
I mean, that wasn't a conversation we were having, but yeah.
but it's a good, I still think I've never heard anyone say that Soundwave is a Breast Force member. I think.
Just to be clear, there is dojo points up for grabs if you can guess.
That's what
piece
dojos are. Not
is.
6 dojos. You're not going to have your own line of dojos across the country or anything like that.
Karate.
Brad doesn't really have the.
It's that in Cobra Kai. It's that in Cobra Kai, bitches.
What's this about when I get 6 dojo?
If you get,
You have to guess
Pete's
Pete's favourite Mr. Kipling cake.
I am partial to.
Whoa. What did you just say?
You're partial to what? Cottaging.
I'm gonna put a guess in.
Wait till this bit's done, this section, and then you can tell us your favorite cake.
Graham's got some pictures here of the Micromasters. It's Micromasters Battle Patrol, and I just love Graham when he just has pictures of G1 stuff, doesn't he, now and again, and it just takes you back to your childhood. And
Graham
every
Thompson
time
is a lovely guy as well. He's
he is. And I know he can be really shy. So when I've met him at TFUK, I've often said hello, but I didn't want to go into his personal space too much. Usually, especially when I'm drunk, and I go, "Hey, Graham," he's just an awesome guy. And so I've been playing it cool, like Tom Cruise, saying hello from a distance and stuff like that. But this is like Flack, Sunrunner, Big Shot, Sidetrack, and to me, this was like the epitome of the Micromasters. They were just awesome toys, and I think everyone's almost had this set at one point. You know, if you were lucky enough to Micromasters, but you were definitely aware of them, and they had good story arcs as well.
He just reminds me of Alexis at TFN, just really reserved. You don't know he's there as much. He's quite quiet. He's in the background. He doesn't put his speaker system on and start playing out
boombox.
Yeah. Doesn't draw attention to himself needlessly or disturb the fun and enjoyment of the listening.
Now, we know on social media, we all heard this bad news that Hasbro decided to lay off 1,100, maybe more employees. And luckily enough, a lot of them seem to be Magic the Gathering. It seems to be Dungeons and Dragons. I'm not saying lucky enough as if that's a good thing. And I know it was explained to me very well, actually, why this was happening, and it makes perfectly good sense. However, just wanted to leave this sort of here for the Hasbro executives, if they watch this show, to take note that this is what Nintendo did. And I do think if you're a big toy company, it's not the best PR stunt to play laying off workers just on Christmas. It's just like, what the fuck? It's like a Father Christmas movie, isn't it? Sacking all the fucking elves just before Christmas Eve is done. I don't get that. But yeah, it has been.
That's what I was saying. Since that day as well, Nintendo have actually come on leaps and bounds. They're actually very successful now, and they're actually dominating a lot in their own market across films and media. And they bought their main rival back in the 80s, Sega, obviously as well. So they've actually come on leaps and bounds. So just goes to show.
Nintendo have never bought Sega. There's a reason why people do cuts. They don't own Sega.
Sega's a software company now.
Yeah.
All right, semantics.
Semantics as in facts.
They come on really well.
When Adidas bought Nike.
There is a reason why.
Don't get me started on Adidas.
Horrible.
Anyway,
too much.
Creatine.
It's a horrible thing.
And Nikki,
here's an image which it's from Borders did actually, and I feel like Borders did. I've already shown a picture of him last week, but I just saw this image and I don't know. I just really liked it, I just thought it was a really good Christmas image.
Well,
And it's
John's
a
been
good
doing the
Christmas year.
12. Isn't he been doing the 12 days of Ultra Magnus or something?
Yeah, the other one's a pish, guys. But I meant in the aesthetics.
Sportive, creative.
He doesn't mean it like that.
You know, I know. They're actually brilliant. I do like them. I can't show them all and suddenly be thinking, "What the hell, Jamie?" But
It's favoritism. It's another
yeah,
one.
but I, and you know, and it's like, you know, I mean, if you want to see some good photos as well, check out Our Fire, Sexo, Toy Box, Soapbox. The idea is not to show all the big accounts, you know, and the Borders dude, I think he just aced that photo. If I had took that photo, I would be showing this off in as much opportunity I would have got, because I just like everything about it. I just, the pose, the lighting, the background, the accessories he's done. To me, I like the fact he's just slightly off center as well, you know, so your eyes drawing into it. You know, it's just good. It's just good. So well done there, John. A really brilliant picture. Spider Father, it just makes you jealous as fuck. I mean, Jesus, I just look at the Dino Rider toy.
Was that his week's pickups?
Yeah, he's got that for the post.
Jesus wept.
I know. And he's only got the best visionary. He's got the rarest visionary toy, which I need to get to complete my collection. You know, and he's got this. Oh, and I just look at the Dino Riders and I go, oh. You know, here's a close up.
Supersonic explosion.
If Milan got this for me, I would say, Milan, as you reward, we don't need to have sex for at least a month. I know.
As your reward.
And it'd be a good reward as well, because Milan would be on that eBay, money, no object.
Poor Milan.
I know. But
straight on love, honey.
Just look at that. Just look at that. The buy Dino Riders and love honey, because that would be good.
Just be sending the link over and over again.
But yes, I don't know about you guys, but Dino Riders is a toy which it was a high market. It was very expensive, so I don't know, maybe that's why it didn't do so well. But I always saw the adverts. I had a very short-lived season 1, which I never really got to see. I would have loved to have those toys. It's kind of like Mask. It was kind of out of touch.
I'll show you my Dino Riders when you come around next, Jay. I've got a few of them, so I'll show you them.
Is that a euphemism?
No. My T-Rex has no tip on its tail though, but it does walk still.
I bet it does.
T-Rex I've got the T-Rex Triceratops, the Dilophosaurus, the Quetzalcoatlus, the Pterodon, something else I can't remember what it was.
Flashbacks to that quiz.
That was a great quiz.
It was actually funny up until the 200 questions by dinosaurs.
Oh, that was hilarious.
I'm surprised you didn't slip some of them into the TFUK card quiz.
Oh, should we do that?
No. In a word.
That was very good, Jamie.
Yeah, and I say it again, I do think John's photo, it was just brilliant, and I cannot say that enough. It was just like, if I had taken that photo, yeah, a brilliant photo.
There was a lot of really good photos in amongst. Yeah, there was a lot of people who did great work.
And obviously, I like Robocop 2's one as well. I kind of love the fact when people get the colours and the shadows and they keep the clarity. To me, like that's what Soapbox does so well.
You were right, Jamie, about that perspective, having that photo from a different perspective, looking upwards towards what should be a Titan-sized bot. That was
I would like to copy that, sort of mimic that, but it's good.
The more we're doing this, I think. I know you say it's hard to do competition, but we probably should have a photograph competition and get people just to tag us on Twitter.
Well, that's Borders did won that, because to me that's the hands down the best photo.
You didn't show my photo. Don't know what was wrong with it.
Bit of a brick, I think.
Fingers crossed.
I've heard on the forums.
You're right, though.
Just triggering you.
Maybe we should do, because what I find really good, someone else would make.
We stop Andy's for example.
Well, Jamie, maybe I know. Maybe if you pick the top 10, and then we will decide what we think is 1, 2, 3. And we have a little discussion internally about what we think is like, why we like it. because but you pick the initial top 10 because you're gonna put most of the work in.
Because do you know what I like about John's photos? It reminds me of like why mobile phones are a good choice for photography. You know, because it's a perspective and that unlimited, aspect that they get. It's just
you know
awesome.
you can watch porn on them as well.
Right now,
whoa! Say what?
I didn't know you could do anything else with them.
I'm going to be 4 to 5 minutes.
My phone, I still do this to it. My phone still goes 0.
Just being.
One.
You know what's funny? John's not even on tonight, and they've said all these positive things, and he'll never know. Now we'll know if the dick actually watches the show. We can test it.
Just in this bit, John. Your photo shit.
Dave, thanks for your support. I'll try and do some more photos for next week. Right.
Look, I'm looking forward to
just saying happy days, Pete. Happy days.
Fonzie photos.
Those are my happy days.
Monday, Tuesday, Transformers The Show. Should we do? that'd be quite good to do a happy days intro Transformers The Show meme.
Sam Thompson's comment. If you misread it, it's almost a comment I would love to make. You know, I take all my photos on my phone. Portrait made on the iPhone is fantastic, but he's kind of right, you know, because portrait mode will help to bring that shot out, and you can control the blur as well.
That's
and
what I
like to do. The best thing to do is to have your photo, copy it, and then get the original photo, put the blur you want, and then what you can do is you can always paste a copy just to highlight some bits that might have got blurred out accidentally by the original photo, so you can sort of delete and edit quite easily, and that brings it out even better.
I like
that. That's what Paul taught me that. Paul taught me that trick.
There you go. Not just a pretty face. So I like the fact that when you do the picture on portrait mode and you take the picture and it's like you've got the picture which is in the foreground, which is very focused, and the background, they'll never fucking catch me.
I honestly live on the internet.
We're losing him. He's turned his back on us. We've offended him somehow.
Monday, Tuesday, cheesy days. Thursday, Friday, camembert. Saturday, Saturday.
I'm just laughing. This is perhaps the most positive stuff I've actually said about John's photography in a long time, and it was honest and sincere. And the fucker's not even on.
What is that, Jamie? Why did you say it? All right, quick peruse of the viewers.
You could just say
away he goes.
That, you should. Oi, John, watch that.
I'm not. Don't tell him. We'll find out if he watches. We'll find out. Maybe we can test his true friendship.
Almost passed the test.
Do you remember De Niro have like a little club where like you like talk about how you're going to fuck people over in the circle of trust?
My God, that'd be awesome. Hang out with Robert De Niro.
He lives 2 streets down, actually.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I've got his phone number.
He used to come
Cookham, the celebrity capital of the world.
We often go to the same cookery class. Make omelets together.
You get caloric irrigation at the same place. That's wonderful. That's bonding, that is.
Robert, if you're free on a Friday night, I'm on a little YouTube show. Give us a watch.
The good thing is,
Bobby,
if you get something stuck up your bum, right? So you don't pierce it. The best thing to use to get it out of the bum is your tongue.
Is that what you tell them?
James said because it can't pierce the skin. Therefore, it's the perfect utensil. Therefore, to get the crap out.
No. It was dust.
Dust.
Sorry. Not like a grapefruit.
I can't help but feel that. No, I can't even say it.
Right.
I can't say it.
Ever get a dusty bum hole? Call Jamie.
Okay. Let's discuss
dusty bum.
We now return to the Transformers.
Sure, MGo's not discussing dusty bum
Dusty
holes.
bombs and licking assholes. Maybe
Dusty, the new crusty.
Maybe that's what he discusses.
We
People
don't
try to
know
talk about
because we're here.
Transformers. He goes, no. Back on topic. It's dusty bum
It
holes and
works
nothing
for
for me.
OnlyFans.
Right, so
Oh,
discussion.
dear.
Kicking us off straight away is an audio book discussion. Pete or Jamie, do you want us to take us through what the discussion is?
Pete, it was Pete's choice. Do you want me to say Pete?
No, it was merely, I think, in a world now where Audible is such a big thing. I think, would there be mileage in Hasbro trying to release some written media, perhaps with some voice actors, or even someone from the, I don't know if it will work so much with perhaps Peter Cullen doing it or Frank Welker, because obviously they're well known as one particular voice. But I think are Hasbro missing an opportunity trying to crack the the kind of the spoken word story world? I think when you look and see how we've got we've obviously got the comics and TV shows, we've got the toys and stuff. Is there an opportunity with the Audible kind of type product?
In a world where Audible is advanced, do Transformers get missed out? Does Pete? I
started well.
If Bobby De Niro's watching, he'll be very
I
disappointed.
really like the idea. I would so buy this. I always look for those YouTube videos where they narrate the comics. Because again, it's nice to have, like, you listen to the radio, aren't you? Almost like, and again, if you can look, and if it's really interesting, I can look at the screen and see what's going on. Like if they're describing something, almost like it's. I love that, and it's because it's so hard. I find it so hard personally with a kid with a house of three quite young children and a busy lifestyle to actually sit down in a quiet corner and read for an hour. I find it almost near impossible. Like so, but I do often have the opportunity to go on the train or somewhere I can listen to a podcast. And again, like that type of thing, like there was an Audible version of Transformers media or lore, I genuinely actually watch it a lot. I often have it in the background if I'm brushing my teeth, or some of the 5-minute snippets. Like I'll listen to Ian or other YouTubers as well. Their takes and stuff. I find that quite interesting.
The Ladybird books used to have it, and so there's no reason why they can't do Audible versions of it. Because loads of kids like that nowadays have some kind of like Alexa type device in their rooms and fall asleep listening to the stories. It's definitely an area in a market they could go into. And you said about Peter Cullen and Welker, obviously they are known for one voice, but they did loads of voices in the G1 cartoon, so they could potentially do it. The thing you'd have is the cost of paying them. I mean, Hasbro's recent record tends to lean towards them getting in other actors to do the voices. And if you remember the actual Ladybird stories, they just had like a person reading it and doing the voices. It wasn't quite as professional, shall we say, as it might be done now. But I think it could be good. I think the kids would enjoy listening to it, and certain adults, esteemed adults.
You could use Gen AI to actually recreate the voices these days as well. Like they've done that.
I do think companies like Hasbro, using the audio market, they could definitely get big names if they wanted to, and they can maybe even not pay the big names as much as we need to, especially if they were to say a joint venture with the BBC Education Services, so the joint names are doing it more for charity and more for education. Like when you had like big names reading out the sort of like The Hobbit or Lord of the Rings that used to get played across the radio, instead of that you would be like iPlayer, internet services. You could probably listen it through Alexis, and I think it'd be something that Hasbro should maybe look into, because I know we're very controlled of IP, but sometimes you've just got to let it go to let something grow. And I think if they, especially when it comes to this, the plethora of myriad of stories they've got out there, they wouldn't need to do much. You're just having someone reading it out, and it could be pop stars, any sort of celebrity, you name it, and kids would just love it. And it would, and when I do teaching, especially with primary schools, they don't do it so much there, but used to have like listening hour when you would just listen to a sort of a recorded voice reading out a story, because listening and reading are very important skills. And it's skills that need to be developed. So I think it's essential, and I think it's something that should be taken on board. And schools would be doing Ladybird Transformer books and reading it out. So even though Hasbro might produce sort of stuff and it might cost them a lot for maybe a big name, you know, educational music libraries, etc., would be buying this stuff in. And when you think about when you think about how much money in education is wasted on junk teaching credentials and junk teaching resources which having no validation whatsoever, and they're usually just quangos, and it's just ridiculous. But something which is real and something which has been tested and proved for like decades, it would be silly not to try to take advantage of that. It's just about getting that money and putting it in the right place again, instead of wasting it.
Marvel do it in schools. My son often brings back a Marvel book to read as his book for the day. They have them in the libraries and stuff. Not my Hasbro books, but there are a lot of Marvel books or DC books as well. They often read, like, they actually are. Actually, DC do it quite a lot. The book they actually genuinely read in school is a DC book. It's often about Batman or Superman. So there's a lot of that actually in primary school level. That actually is there as the main book. Not audible, but again, as you said, Jamie, teach them to read and teach them the active listening skills, as you said, Jamie, is very important.
I mean, we could even do a dry run. I mean, and we could read out a comic and actually see what it's like. It's a sort of proof. You know, and hand it over to Hasbro and see what they do.
TF the show, taking Audible by storm.
Hi, I'm not Morgan Freeman. You're tuned in to the Transformers The Show.
I'm out.
I think Hasbro will be when they see all the talk about cottages. I think that's probably. I mean, I'm not sure that's going to
be. But to your point, though, I put in the chat. It didn't get picked up at all. I'm not sure if it picked up, but you can recreate voices with Gen AI now. You can do that. Heart Radio did it recently.
Yeah, that's going to make me so popular in the art community. That would be a fucking death knell just now.
It's not.
You'll go at that. That'll be a literal death knell. You know, if you start saying, "I will use AI," what?
But you can, right? You don't have to. You can just recreate someone's voice, can't you? And just
The 12 months time they won't.
It might ruin you on social media forever, but we still can. I think that's what you're missing there, JP.
There was a Black Mirror version, right? With who was it? Kate Beckinsale or Kate Winslet? Who was I can't remember who she was. And they went, "No, you sold your rights to." Oh, no, Salma Hayek. And they went, "No, you've actually sold your rights for them to create a Gen AI version of you." So the fact that she's shitting in the church is like, you know, you sign up to that, right? Even though it's not her. So it's scary. That was scary, right? But a year later, right? I mean, AI has been around for years, as you said. Like, is it Nuremberg? Who's the original? I can't remember. But anyway, okay, digress. I think they've missed a massive trick here as well, because you do get a lot of really cool Audible books. I think it's branched out. I don't think you get as much sci-fi as you get other areas. Does anyone here actually use Audible or other?
I do. I use Audible all the livelong day with my driving. Obviously, I do lots of driving across Scotland and the North East, and Audible's brilliant. So I've got all the Warhammer books, so the whole Horus Heresy. I've read probably about 7 of them, and I'm just going through them again, and that's like fucking like 4 days worth, just the first couple of just the first 7 books, and that's brilliant. Also, there's Alan Partridge's In the Oast House, which is season 1's good, season 2 and season 3 are mentally funny. So, and the thing is, there's so many episodes. By the time you get to the end, you can just go back to the start and like listen to them again, and it puts you in a good mood as well. So when I've got a 4, 5, 6, 7 hour drive, I can just smash through Audible's brilliant. You get a credit a month, don't you, which you can use. Generally, I normally have. I normally max it to the limit, so take it to the max. Pepsi Max. So I'm normally at the limit. I use all the credits up, and sometimes I have to buy the odd book. But yeah,
new generation.
For the new generation.
Does Audible do Mills and Boon?
Will you
Cherry,
stop waving that? Will you
I
stop
normally-
waving that tape measure at the
Wait a second,
camera?
I normally just put
Oh,
X
got-
when I want to wank.
The suction's up. It's got
And
bigger.
what the great thing about the Volvo S60 is it's got auto drive on it, so you can take your hands off
Yes.
the wheel. You can literally
Yes.
sit there, do what you want. Car will drive. You can build an X hamster. It's cracking. It's
It's
a
the
great
audible
car.
version.
It's a great car.
Reader's letters.
X-Hamster is the audible
The
version of
BMW is
Ford.
different. The BMW has a little camera, and it knows if you're looking at your phone. If you're looking at your phone, it will disengage. You'll say no, you're not driving the car.
Hang on, if you're looking at your phone, the auto drive disengages and
that-
crashes.
Yeah.
Teach him.
Now you're burning to death, and it's your fault.
The thing about Volvo is because it's Swedish, it just knows that everyone's pure and would never do that. So you can trick it really easily. I did it with the kids in the back. I just put in auto drive and I go and do a bit of carpentry in the back of the car.
So, what got me into the Lord of the Rings originally was
Ex-hamster.
my my parents
Was
gave me
it?
their
Watching
their
the little
cassette tapes.
get his ring
So,
destroyed.
I mean,
I
you joke.
think it was my
There are films.
no. I think no.
One
So,
ring to rule them all.
No. So, okay. So
Never
so
thought
we go
it
back.
to be sexy, but
Wait
wow.
a second.
You really-
So we go back. We
Cottages
go
in the
back. Right?
Shire.
We had obviously the 2003, 2005.
Alexis just say, stop turning it sexy.
We had those, right? We had those, and before the 2005, before the Peter, what's his name?
Stringfellow.
His name? Peter Jackson. Thanks, mate. Peter Jackson live action,
Strings
right?
version. Stringfellow's version of Lord of the
I
Rings.
downloaded the Rohan Lord of the Rings.
Oh,
You
wasn't
had
there.
you had the animated version back in the 80s, didn't you? Like that. It was half animated and half
Wasn't it
like
the
silhouettes.
version in the 70s.
Was it, I thought it was the 80s.
It
But
was
in the
using
70s
that well
Seventies,
known artist technique, wasn't it? But they had live action and then they animated
Yes.
over the live action.
Yeah,
So-
what year was that?
78, 79, maybe?
Yeah, 70s, yeah.
Wow.
I'll never look. Keep talking.
And before that, they did it on radio as well. So I've got
1978.
still got 26 tapes, cassette tapes. For those people that don't
Wow.
everyone knows what those are. Everyone, it's not my children not watching.
I think our audience probably know, Alexis. I think
Yeah.
you're all right there.
26 back to back
Soundwave had a minute.
90-minute tapes of the Lord of the Rings, which was a radio show. Everyone remembers the Archers. What that sort of, it's basically like that. And you went through it with like different actors, voice read parts of the role, and that's what got me into Lord of the Rings. I went down and listened to it on my Walkman, and listened to the Lord of the Rings originally first time on cassette tape.
That's a really good idea,
Wow.
Alexis. But I mean, Pete, to be fair, Pete, you were around when they did that broadcast of War of the Worlds. I mean, how much impact did that have back in the day?
Hey,
I couldn't help myself.
you prick. There's no need. B,
Ian's not here. I felt somebody had to fill the void.
B, Ian Holm, who played Bilbo, actually was on the voice, the Radio 2 voice recording before he was in the Peter Jackson film.
There you go.
Like,
That's what I was
well,
listening to.
Maybe
That's what I
that's
was
partly
listening
the
to.
reason behind it.
Transformers The Show, bringing you all you need to know on Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, knowledge. You don't need Chris McPhee.
No,
I mean, you do.
Yeah. What is Chris McPhee, you know?
I mean, he does know a lot more than us.
Who is
But
that
I
anyway?
think
Who is that?
we
That's
discovered-
what-
I think we got to the crux of the matter last week when we discussed how the GoBots just had pish sound effects for when they transformed. And if they just had decent sound effects, it could have been a whole different, fandom.
I'm gone for 1 week.
So
Jesus.
did I say it with you guys? So we did the top three. Like it was like, what are the top three? Like you've got Transformers. You've got what are the top three sound effects in like modern sci-fi, which are like unique lightsabers. We've got lightsabers, transformation, and I found one more. I felt one more sound effect that I felt was unique.
Supersonic
to-
explosion.
This better not be Jeremy
No.
next time, sir.
No.
Come on!
And Paul should know what it is. What's the third sound in sci-fi that's probably quite
Teleporting.
unique?
Paul's not even
Yes,
listening.
Jamie's got it.
Oh, yeah.
Teleportation.
Yeah.
In Star Trek. That's like probably one of the three. So you got
He's blatantly
lightsabers,
watching someone else, isn't he? He's not even
teleportation,
paying attention.
and then transformation. If there's a fourth, I'd love to know it, right? But I thought those are probably the three unique sounds which you don't hear anywhere else. If you
I
hear
like
the sound,
any discussion
exactly what it
where
is.
GoBots don't get any credit, so it's okay.
Because they were ish. Let's not lie about this. They were ish.
I know.
They were. There was a reason why they lost out to
Yeah,
Transformers.
to be honest, there is a fourth sound, right, in modern media, which I don't know if it's in sci-fi, but if you heard this, you know exactly what it is.
Again, boundaries where
Is
we
it-
don't want those boundaries broken down.
Is it Alexis during a Zoom meeting when he's forgotten to mute?
Alexis, are you paying attention?
Well,
Is he not moving? And that would take some gall on it.
And genuinely, there's not another. Oh, okay,
What was
okay. I'll give you I'll give you one four sounds, right? I'm just
There's
the
some
sound.
sounds,
But we're
Wait,
up
wait,
four.
wait.
We're up four.
Wait. Hear me out. The sound that Marty McFly's
TARDIS.
shoes. No, oh yeah, TARDIS. Well, okay. The sound that Marty McFly's shoes make in Back to the Future 2 when he presses the button, they go. And they just.
See,
that
I've got to
iconic?
argue against
Really?
TARDIS because
All right, fine.
I
TARDIS.
think-
Who said TARDIS?
think-
Let's kick him.
I think
Godzilla
the
Raw,
good thing about
actually.
Doctor Who is there's nothing good about Doctor Who, like the special effects or the sound, and I think that's what makes it sort of like you want to cuddle it, don't you? Because you feel like, oh, you've tried. It's almost like it's like a 4-year-old who's done the sound effects for Doctor Who and special effects. It's just British, and I like it, and I think that's
Yeah, low budget.
fans.
I like.
yeah.
so
But
Ben was-
BBC thought it was big budget. That's what
Well,
I
I was
was
for BBC.
Okay,
yeah.
so Ed
We
Bumble
spent a quid on this, and this is fucking
I thought
amazing.
about this. I thought. So he said the noise that the Star Trek doors make as they open or close. I thought about this, and we'll have a look. We'll have a little competition now. Who can
Ooh, the TIE fighter.
recreate? Who can recreate the noise from the doors opening or closing? Pete, you have a.
I've done mine.
I'm sorry.
I'm not
Your
doing it
big
again.
plan
I'm
to
not
win
performing
viewers is for us to recreate the sound from the doors.
Competition.
Well, Jamie's
Go
just lost all the Doctor Who ones by saying it was pish.
He didn't say it was
Why are we
pish.
bothering?
Jamie,
But
do
it
yours
was a
again,
good pish. Do you know? That's what I think. When we look back at old BBC vintage stuff, it was awful, but it was good awful. And I don't know how it works, but like the Cybermen, I think when you look at the old design Cybermen, they were brilliant and scary. When I look at the new high tech Cybermen, I just think this is crap. I don't.
Jamie, do your door sound. Star Trek.
You've got a point there, Jamie. Because
Yeah.
I think I was watching some of the Battlestar Galactica, the recent series of it, and there's the bit in one of the series, no spoilers, but this is a bit of a spoiler, where you actually see the old
I'll do the
Centurions,
sound at the end.
and you compare them.
Oh,
And the CGI ones look crap in comparison, really. There's something about that look of the Centurions.
I think
Like
sometimes there's a
Stormtroopers.
problem with sci-fi where they try to be too advanced, and I think they've forgotten what sci-fi is about, because sci-fi is about being different. It doesn't mean advanced. And that's what I think Star Wars does quite well, because Star Wars is it's not changed, has it? The computers and the stuff they're doing, and it works, and they just go with it.
You know,
And I think-
Andy, you do your noise for the doors first.
I don't want to do noise for the doors. This is
go.
literally. I'm going to say this now. This is the worst feature we've ever had, and we've had terrible features at times.
We started with Audible. Should
I'd
Transformers
rather
books
have
be on
fans
Audible?
talking the window right
I'll-
now. than
I'll do
trying
the
to-
noise.
I can
Pete,
see
Pete,
Paul
for your
off screen
benefit,
just now.
the
Just
noise is
lifting
this.
his
Pete,
neck
the
and
noise-
beer.
Pete,
He's just
the
going,
noise-
fucking hell.
Pete, the noise is this.
You can tell Pete's not been here that long. He just doesn't give a shit. He's like, yeah, mate, this is brilliant. Give it another 200 episodes, and Pete will be sat there going, oh.
That's the noise.
Nobody cares.
Blowing out.
No, Dave. Andy is not harassed.
I am.
He's here willing.
I swear down, you give it about 2 more weeks, I'm going to look like
Nick,
Pete.
Nick,
It's,
you
it's
say
going that
before,
way.
Andy, I
It's going that
swear.
way.
I
It's
swear.
Stockholm syndrome.
Oh my God, hang on. 3 years ago, I had a full head of hair. What's going on here?
Andy,
Oh, God.
why are you
I'm gonna
standing
eat it
upside
when I start to
down?
go bald.
Oh, dear.
I was just thinking, do you know what Bayverse is missing out of in the new live action Transformers? There should be a scene where a Decepticon is showing off his teeth, and some wise ass
Thanks,
go,
Vic. Thanks, Lee.
"Why have you got teeth?" And he just grabs them and crunches them all up.
Yeah.
I just think that would be an awesome scene. The sound effects of, cornflakes. I could do the sound effects I could eat cornflakes, and
But don't you think some of that stuff from the really dark? Sorry, we're going off a complete tangent here. But some of that stuff from the more dark areas of Transformer storytelling, like when they had the Megatron story in IDW, and there's the bit when the Decepticons. Sorry, spoilers if you've not read it. There's the bit where the Decepticons essentially attack New York, I think it is, and take over the city. And you see a bit with Reflector, the 3 parts of Reflector. And they corner some humans, and basically you just see in the panel them saying to them, "We just want to play," or something like that. And then the next scene is the Reflectors discussing between themselves how easily these things pull apart. And you just think, "Oh, that is quite dark. That's quite, the idea that they." And then one of them says, "Let's see if we can put them back together again." I like that though. I like, it's. I hear, and Jamie, you might be able to tell me better, and maybe you as well, Pete. I hear the new Skybound comic is a little bit that way. That it's
I have not
read.
I've got 3 issues. I'm waiting until the 3rd issue comes through the post, because I've been getting the designer ones, wonderful covers and stuff like that. Because I'll be honest with you, I do not like buying digital. I think
no, I don't either.
I think you want to support something. Get it from your local comic store, blah blah blah, because these are the people to keep the industry going. You're buying digital, you're sort of bypassing that voice, that industry which created and kept things alive. And I also think, in a lot of ways, piracy, I think, is a good thing for a lot of poor communities and a lot of poor countries, because at that time the West used to want to do piracy. It used to play stuff over the radio deliberately, into the communist bloc and stuff like that. And I think once we got our way and crushed communism, blah, 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 we started to crucify these poor communities in a way, because now we wanted the cash after we spent the popular culture. And I think sometimes, when it comes to comics digitally and stuff like that, they should be given access to schools free. And I think that would be a good step towards doing something for the community. And I firmly believe they should be doing something like that, So I'm not saying people like me, we should pirate, or like the UK. I'm talking about, poor countries, out there where they don't have that option and don't have that access and stuff.
However, great points. However, answering your question, Andy, it's very, it's a completely different take. And it's excellent.
It's not completely different, is it? Because from what I heard, it kind of follows the basic premise of the kind of original thing.
Yeah. It's not a very different way. No. Good point. Yeah. I think it takes. There's some core foundation bits, but I think how they're telling the story is.
Does it work because the writer and the artist are the same person? Mostly,
I
think it does, because I think he's
a fan, apparently, and he's the guy behind The Walking Dead, isn't he? And we know what that series.
He's already got. I think he's already got in his head what he wants it to look like, and then he's adding the text to it, rather than you're having the text and then adding the artwork to it. It's just a different spin, right? But I'm really enjoying it. Yeah, 3 issues in, I love it. I think it's a really good take. I think they're missing a trick with it being 1 issue a month, though.
I don't, and I disagree with you there, because I'll tell you why I disagree with you. You're wrong. Because looking at the quality, you're wrong. Seeing the panels, you want to keep these quality and stuff good. And a lot of these writers and stuff, they might have a second job doing something else, or they're working for other comics and other ventures. You don't want to be burning them out. You look at the sort of Japanese comic industry, the art's almost been designed to allow for the fact that they're mass produced, so it doesn't have the detail, it doesn't usually have the color as well, so we would have to be giving something up. But when I look at the Transformers comic industry, the UK comic industry used to be thriving, and it was a wonderful thing. And I think sometimes the negative aspect of social media and internet has, it's not only has America managed to take a lot of great British talent, which usually means there's no one else that gets onto the ladder, because that ladder's been moved to a new country. it also meant that it became very sort of American sort of centric as well, and you kind of started to lose that perspective of like, you know, what other sort of countries are. And I think that's that, and because we talk about the British comic industry, you had a thriving Italian comic industry as well, and they would be doing their own stuff, and we had 2000 AD, and I think this is a whole, you know, because it's going off on a tangent, but I think this is a conversation that we could be having about moving the comic industry forward, apart from just having key names and stuff like that, or people who are in the right crowd. It's about a lot of these comic people came from like poor sections of society, where talent was getting pushed forward, rather than they've got the financial support to, you know, take that chance, where a lot of people, they just didn't have these options. So I do worry, and that's why I'm not so keen on the digital answers all. And I do know when it comes to America, you know, they've got a very different idea of what socialism or helping the poor is, because I don't think they really know what poor is really sometimes.
So I guess my thinking behind it being a bit more regular to start, there was such a big gap between IDW and Skybound. So in effect, it didn't just go off, it went off, and then it's been silent for however long, right? So you've then brought a whole new storyline, a whole new direction, a whole new, I think, way of telling the origin story. And I think with the IDW, Wave 2 or the re-release, I think that Brian Ruckley was writing and stuff.
Yeah, I think
took so long to get going.
It was. I think it was the worst launch of a new comic I'd ever seen in my life. But I did like the story, and I liked the development. But they had me as a fan anyway. And the Beast War stuff was brilliant. I mean, I don't think the Beast War stuff was recognised or how good it was. But the trouble with the ID Buckley stuff is it was IDW. The poor Brian Buckley was trapped with the same people who were fans of the original IDW. So suddenly it's like, and you've got to do this, and you've got to have, and anything he said, because remember it was a drawing they done with, you know, which was a protest, and then suddenly you had a real live protest kicking off. But obviously that was done way before that happened. And suddenly they were getting picked apart in social media about that, and you're thinking, Jesus, you know, let comic industries make mistakes or breathe or whatever. And I think you're right there with Skybound, because it was there was a nice space and a gap. They've just launched, and he's doing his own thing, and he doesn't care. And I think that's
and I think it's wicked, but I just would love to see it fortnightly, because you're trying to build momentum, right? And you're trying to get it to a steady state, and then if it drops down to, you know, once a month, because theoretically that time that has passed, 18 months, 2 years, presumably he'll have been writing it, and just because it wasn't released, he'll have been writing it and drawing it. So presumably there will be a back catalogue of those issues ready. He's probably done the first, 15 issues. 18 issues.
Are you saying you want more content really then in that
period?
No.
I think I want it frequently. I think
Americans was a month before, right? UK was originally every 2 weeks, right? America was a month.
Yeah.
Originally in the original Marvel, right? And it said, sorry, I'm just putting my foot in someone's box. Sorry. I've got the oil around there. Oil radiator, and I was like trying to. I've got oil rads. I'm trying to get my foot off the oil rad. I stuck it in the fucking box. I'm like, can't get my foot in the fucking box. So it's right, it's fine. Sorry, I was trying to. So yeah. So are you saying you want more content, or are you saying that you don't feel? Are you saying that you feel like you personally lose momentum in that period?
Yeah.
Potentially.
Option 2. Yeah. Option 2.
Okay.
But Ed made a good point, Volts of Icon, in the chat, that monthly comics is, and has been for a long time, an American way of doing it. They do it as monthly comics and have for a long time. Yes, going back to G1 Marvel in the 80s, we got it fortnightly, but we got a lot of filler content, which is where a lot of the independent UK stories came from and originated from, because they had to fill up the pages because they were doing it fortnightly instead of monthly. And as for whether they have lots, like you said then, about like 15 issues worth of stuff ready to go, from what I understand of the way they do these comic books, they aren't that far ahead. They literally are like working to much shorter deadlines. Now he may have it. I mean, I don't know. I've not spoken to him, so I don't know. He may have, like you say, 15 issues worth left. But I think because of the way that in America it's a monthly release, it's always going to be, we're going to get it in that format because it's what they're used to. Whether it's right or not, I don't know. I'd rather have more.
I wanted to clarify something where I think, you know, it's a discussion that can be had itself, and I would want to do a little bit more research. I think the trouble when I make some people talk about the demographics of America, but pure and co. I think in America right now, you've got a lot of people who are very well off, or middle class, who are doing a lot of the writing, and they can't think. They think they can change lanes, but they don't, and so you don't have that social mobility concern. You don't have that voice for poor people, you know, unless it's a complete freaking stereotype. But I think in a lot of things, when you watch American shows like medical dramas, for example, they won't mention the fact that if people earn a certain income in America, they can get free healthcare. You know, all the hospitals have it in signs of it. When I was in America, you can see them when you go into the hospital. But every medical drama I've ever watched, it's never referred to. And it's deliberately done. It's almost like these wee signs are like out of sight. So for normal Americans, probably don't even know they're entitled to free healthcare because the state will support them and stuff like that. Because we always under this illusion that it's so expensive in America. Where literally it's not actually always the case, depending, because America's got so many different states and stuff like that. And I always feel like that's deliberately done by medical dramas in America to keep that information away, where it should be educating people and showing people how to apply. I shouldn't have been doing a science course where actually we get this information and get told to teach this to people. You know, this stuff should be in American shows. This is about America. And I always find that a weird thing where a lot of stuff it's meant to be helping is not there. It's not made available to the masses to absorb. So that's one thing I get from like my limited experience of reading American comics, because a lot of people say it's Transformers, it's about space, it should be about sci-fi and enjoyment, you know. And a lot of people have said awesome stuff, especially, you know, Pete here has said awesome stuff about these comics.
I was looking online when you started talking about Skybound. I was thinking in my head going, what the fuck's Skybound? Like, I have no idea. And you just say, oh, because they're the publishers, right? So obviously I Googled it. I was like, okay. You mean the new Transformers comics, right? Okay. So how many episodes have there been now? Like, because I remember we talked about three episodes. Yeah, issues. Three issues. So and do you know how many there are meant to be in this season or this
2,000?
Awesome.
150
million.
13
million.
a year's worth. It's a year's worth, basically.
We don't know. It might be like IDW and it's just an ongoing thing. And we had 50, didn't we, of the original run of Modern
I'm asking some really naughty questions, right? How many when I read like the what's it called? The one of the Transformer comic books from the IDW lost. There's like 2 or 3 stories, and there seems to be quite a lot in there, right? How big are these? How much story is in these content?
This is the point I wanted to make. Controversially speaking, when you had the Transformers Marvel comics, it would have half the content of the American comic when that came to the actual Transformer story. The filler being, you know, Machine Man, G.I. Joe, some comic sketch, visionaries. Sometimes it'd be printing another older story again in color. So would you kind of want that there, Pete? Or would you rather have more content but less frequency?
But because do you know what, right? So freeze frame, we keep the same frequency, but it's twice the size. You're still waiting for a month before you're continuing the story. So I'd be happy with the same amount, you know, of content, but just seeing it a bit more, right?
So can I ask why don't you just wait and bite it together? Just all let them build up. You know, like your balls, just let them get bigger. Because again, you're defeating the whole lot. You're kind of defeating the whole object of what I would want, and then you're smashing it all together, and then you've got another big gap.
So is your plan, like my plan, is to kidnap him, put him in a cage.
Draw for me, Alex.
Draw and write for me.
Yeah,
I know.
I will feed them a KFC because only the best KFC will do.
I know I'm outnumbered here, but I'd like to go back to Jamie's question, which was, would you like the filler comics? I would like to have that. because I'd love to give other lesser known writers a chance to be the next Simon Furman.
So my second point was, before we were talking about frequency, is that if Alex Kurtzman has written the story, then that's when maybe you get in guest artists that if he can't keep up with the artwork, that's when you bring the likes of Animal Cova in or Alex Milne or whatever, because the story is written. Right. So if he can't keep on, if he can't, if he can't keep up with the artwork, then that's when you bring the other. Because again, that's allowing
the
it to give
electric prods, doesn't it?
Draw, bitch. I think one of the guys mentioned in the chat that they are going to be running G.I. Joe concurrently with it.
Hey, have you seen this? Seen this little gem here of a thing? Oh, not that one. But yes, that's good as well, Ed.
But yeah, Bisto says they're going to be doing a Duke and Cobra Commander, which I'm going to read.
Well, he said buy the comics, mate.
Yeah.
He said there's other Razmags, all right.
All right.
Well, I mean, as Alexis said, and then Bisto said it as well, is there's other comics in the shared universe. After all, G.I. Joe is now, like I say, shared universe, Human Transformers figures. So maybe just start buying those comics.
Yeah,
that's what I'm going to do.
Anyway, this has been a really interesting discussion about Audible. Well, it was organic. The conversation has been organic. We've organically gone into this.
I know, because I must admit, I've got a pet peeve. I must admit, I do think comics in the UK, USA, and a lot of the old West, I do think we should buy from the comic stores. We should support these industries because they're the ones that kept the things alive. I do think that digital, get digital, but I think digital should help support schools in the libraries. They could easily do it. And I think there should be a pass and I think they should work in a way to make it cheaper for people from poor communities or less economic vibrant communities to access these materials. And I definitely think in poor countries that it should be free. And I think there should be torrents made available, etc. And or some other method they can to give access to these other countries, because it helps with the language, it helps with education. And I honestly do believe that, because we used to do it, and I think sometimes unfairly, maybe, I think, when I went into discussions with Americans and that, sometimes they don't understand how much the popular culture has spread and how someone really can't afford that £5.75 or £3.75 to buy that comic at that sort of American price.
On that note, Jamie, do you want to give a shout out? Where do you buy comics from? How do you buy comics? And I'm going to say it's coming to you guys, gentlemen, as well.
Well, so I try to support the local stores, but so many have closed down, like just now. And there's a good Irish store, which I should have forgotten its name just now, and is
okay. Is it okay?
Okay, comics.
Although
and across the country,
but because I've been specifically going after the special card edition just now, I've been buying it off a Forbidden Planet just now.
I've got from them before.
Yeah,
many times.
I've been buying from them.
Pete, where'd you get yours from? How do you buy? Do you go physically or do you go mail order?
I go digital. I go digital.
Good. Okay.
God damn, he's
one of them.
You buy it from Forbidden Planet. That's not an independent comic store.
Right. Okay.
We get independent comic store.
Yeah. Sit the fuck down.
All right. Okay. I'm new to all this, right? Because because again, I used to buy from my local country stores, which is still there.
It's a capitalist.
And I used to buy, if they had it, I got it.
Yes,
didn't have it. I used to get it from the doctors.
Bad guy from every 80s film.
My mum would never pre-order it for me, and they can never do it. So okay, so how much do you pay, Pete, for your digital copy?
Like £2, like £2.50, £3.
I pay something like £7
Yeah, it does cost more for the physical copies.
But that's because I'm a true love Transformers fan, and I do to support my local community and keep all the services.
My local global company.
It's not Andy,
to be fair, Alexis supports his local community, and most of those books would have shut down by now. Historically, in loads of places. OK Comics was the one in Leeds that I used to go to a lot. So big shout out to them. I think they're still going. I know they were posting, especially post-COVID, about struggling and about one thing. If you pre-order something but you haven't paid for it, then for fuck's sake, go and get it and pick it up. Because one thing that some of the independents used to always post about was the number of comic books that people had wanted. So they bought them and pre-ordered them and brought them in, and then they never turned up to buy them and didn't pay for them. And it's just like, come on. I know that money is tight at the moment, but if you're gonna pre-order it, if you're gonna put that on these companies, just do them the service of going paying the £3 or £4.
Just cancel it.
Not you.
Just cancel it.
Yeah, just let them know.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus Christ.
But I will say, I buy digital because with the IDW.
Because he's barred from his local news agent.
The IDW Phase 2 kind of thing. With such a small run, there were so many copies and it's taken up so many boxes. And I'm like,
Dan. Sorry.
I don't have the space.
So I just saw Dan Verstater's comment. He's saying, OK, he's in Leeds and he's bought from.
But I was getting my comics from Crunch Comics in Reading.
Yeah, close because you're not buying them anymore from there.
Yeah, I've got a tablet. That doesn't take.
They're on the
any
streets
space.
now, Pete. They're on the streets. How do you feel about that, Pete? You put them there.
Pete, you and me
Pete
have a
likes
chat
to
about
walk
that.
past
I've got a tablet and I need to use it.
Yeah. Don't you worry, mate. I'll sort you out.
Unhand me. I am
Or you
born
could
from
use.
a man born.
Or you
I
could
speak
use
14 languages as long as they're all English.
You could use the independent comic store Forbidden Planet if you wanted to get the hard copies, like our compatriot Jamie. However, if you want to go digital,
who employs the local community?
No. I'm a halfway house. I'm a halfway house husband. I will buy digital.
Did you say a halfway house husband?
Yeah. I'm a halfway. I said I'm a halfway house, gentleman. I spot my digital online compadres and I spot my local toilet rolls providers for when the digital content is that good. So,
what's the name of the local company that makes that toilet roll? Is it Andrex by any chance?
Cookham toilet rolls.
Let me guess. Their factory's just down the road from you.
I prefer kitchen roll because I feel
you often see the puppy down the cricket club.
I know it's a much more abrasive material. And I feel like you can handle most stuff.
I was going to say Jamie's going for something more durable.
I don't know about you, but I feel like
one sheet drill.
I just feel like toilet roll. You know, it doesn't have the power to contain. I don't know.
Not me.
I love that it can't contain me.
I used to do my lube joke every week, but I fucking can't find it. Maybe I've used it all up.
You sound genuinely annoyed.
Ironically, it was
I feel we've reached the natural end of this conversation.
Ironically, it was actually hand sanitizer. I think it's hand sanitizer.
Sweet
There's someone
baby Jesus.
supporting the comic industry.
Yeah,
I mean that's the thing I don't get, and I think sometimes it's the worst thing about social media, and it's a good thing because I think social media is you can contact the artist or writer and make a comment, and sometimes the comic artist or writer will just rip into you. And you're thinking, well, fuck's sake, I actually support this industry. I buy the comics, you know. But the people who are going, thumbs up, you're brilliant, you're superb, they probably haven't bought the fucking comic or have an intention of buying the comic. You know, where the person who's maybe making that comment, even though you don't agree with it, probably, you know, supports this industry.
Sorry, I'm just joking to death. Right.
I'm just looking at this picture of Tom Hardy in 2011, and then 2012, and it's like, fuck me, same t-shirt, fuck me, it's ripped.
I don't know, he just seemed to get
right, and that's what you're doing right now. It's looking at ripped pictures of
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you ever so much for joining us this week for episode 201.
Yes.
Yeah, well,
thank you so much.
Is next week Christmas special? Are we doing that?
Yeah, boy.
We're doing it next week. Christmas special.
Next week, Christmas special. We shall discuss in more detail the comic industry.
I might do a very short Christmas quiz if all the members are here, and then you can all pit up against each other.
And we might all refuse to allow you to use it on the show. Who knows? The spirit of Christmas.
But Jamie, who supports the comic industry with Andy and Alexis, and Pete, who doesn't, we'd like to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We don't get to see you next
Unless
week.
we see you next week.
Goodbye, all.
See you next week. Take care, guys.
Bye.